Sports Center.
In the NFL, we have a new world champ as the Kansas City Chiefs took down the San Francisco 49ers. That's 2 in a row for the Kansas City Chiefs. Mahomes is your MVP. In the NBA, your San Antonio Spurs are now 0-3 on the Rodeo Road Trip, getting to take on Toronto tonight. Pop says they're tired. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
How good do you want to be? From play one to the last play, we fighting. Today's about opportunity and character. We got a chance to come out here and play football. It's a blessing. Hey, every season is full of defining moments. Let's make this day a defining moment for us in our quest. Let's go, baby.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here are the guys.
Hey, huddle up. We got something to talk about. This is the Morning Huddle. He's RJ Ochoa. I'm Rob Thompson, and this, the Morning Huddle here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. We are comfortably ensconced in our radio ranch. Back home again. Good morning, Blogging the Boys, editor-in-chief RJ Ochoa. How are you this fine Monday?
I'm doing well, Rob. Great to be with you. Great to be back. Great to have everybody now, obviously, in the off season. Welcome to the couch. We've been hanging out for a while.
Yeah, I'm the couch potato now. That was advertised yesterday. Lots to talk and get into it today, of course, as we arrive back from our sojourn out to Vegas. I'm still paying the price, although we were given a full and exciting football game yesterday. I wouldn't call it great. I wouldn't call it. I don't know where to define what we saw last night because the outcome is legendary. We saw the beginning of a dynasty, but the game itself was good. It was a good game, right? Good game.
I don't think we saw the beginning of a dynasty. I think we saw a dynasty, right? Like,
well, I think that you're right. We saw a dynasty, but I think when we look back, it's like AD post. We'll look at last night as they're officially that dynasty.
Last night they walked into immortality. You know what I mean? Like that. Right. That's what the walk. The process or the metamorphosis was. It was kind of a boring game. For a little while. The fourth quarter had tension, and so it's kind of like a television show. When the first 22 episodes are kind of meh, but then the penultimate one of the season is kind of like, oh, okay, wow. You're setting up some plot points, right. And then the finale happens, and you're like, okay, that kind of delivered, kind of the anti-Game of Thrones.
It's like winning the last 30 seconds of a round. We got there, but you closed strong. You closed strong, so we'll give you the round. And that's they closed strong, so we'll give you the round. It was a good game.
It felt like either team could win at the end. It felt like they both had kind of championship drives, championship moments. Went to overtime. I think it's amazing that first 50 Super Bowls, none of them went to overtime, and then in the 8 since, 2 of them have. So you play 5 full quarters. I mean, it's hard to not be satisfied. Although the under hit, which is kind of that's just generally kind of a 30,000 foot was the game good or not test, and this one failed in that sense.
I'd like to see the numbers from last night. The overnights will be here post haste. I imagine they're quite good.
Oh, the television numbers.
Yeah, the TV numbers, right. I imagine were through the roof, and they held it most of the night. So advertisers were happy because even those fifth quarter spots were being watched.
Yeah, I wonder who got the first fifth quarter spot, and it's like you got to sneak in. You
sure did, man. You saved $250K, and we'll look at what went on during the game. Of course, the societal ramifications, the halftime, of course, Ursher. It was polarizing. There was nobody that was like, meh. There were a lot of people that were like, this was awesome. Then there were a lot of people that said, this is boring. So I fell on this was Usher. It was awesome. It wasn't going to blast you out of your seats. He's a dance guy. That's how it's going to sound.
I saw a tweet from former Dallas Cowboys linebacker Justin March, who tweeted, this halftime show was for the 29 and up crowd. I would say this halftime show was for people between the ages of 29 and 45.
I beg to differ. You could go a bit higher than that.
Well, all I'm saying is this was like anyone in that age group jammed out to these songs at the middle school or high school dance. That's all, you know what I'm saying?
It was in every club at my age too. I mean, it was that big.
It was just incredible, and to see Alicia out there and for My Boo to be a thing. And at one point, we got a transition from Confessions to Burn to You Got It Bad. It was at that moment that I realized this is a top 5 halftime show. It was great.
Top 5.
Oh, dude, easily. I mean, he roller skated at one point in time.
Yeah,
Do you recognize the athleticism that's involved in that? It's, it's a difficult
go
sort
Google
of
his age. You'll get more impressed.
Well, I mean,
it was really good. A lot like the
yeah.
game. I thought Usher really kind of summed up. It was really good. Am I going to break it in the top 5? Maybe, because the sum total, but there wasn't a lot of individual greatness other than Pat Mahomes, even at halftime.
I recognize that we literally just spent the week in Las Vegas, but at the end of the first quarter, I don't know what your game watching situation was, like from a volume perspective, like whether or not you could hear everything
I
or
could
not.
hear it all.
Well, at the end of the first quarter, Jim Nantz, says something like, 0-0 at the end of the first quarter. I wonder who had that. And I just was thinking like, holy crap, like what a world we are living in that Jim Nantz, perhaps the most stoic of all of them, is saying that while the game is being played in Las Vegas. I mean, it was a really like surreal moment.
The way that well, we'll get it. There's so much we want to attack today. So we'll look at the game in total. We do want to hear from you. And for all of you guys that dove in for the very first time on our Super Bowl coverage and all that we did, thank you. Thanks for staying with us. Make sure you continue to like, listen, and share. Well, lots of new folks over the week. And we thank you, everybody, for joining us. And the way to keep involved with us is to continue doing what you've been doing. So make sure you're on our YouTube feed. Go to our SA Sports Star. You can go through that panel or wherever you'd like. But make sure you're staying abreast of all that we do. By going right there. So we're going to look at the game by the plays. We're going to look at the game by the impact. There's certainly the other side of this coin, as we have christened a new dynasty, as the Chiefs, as RJ just said, have walked into immortality. Well, the 49ers are now more than famous. They're infamous. They have walked into their own immortal kind of world, and it's not the one you want to be in. There's a lot of teams in a lot of different sports that look a lot like the 49ers do. Close, but no cigar. What do you do on that side of the coin?
Dude, this is tough. I mean, you don't want to be in a box with the 90s Jazz, the 90s Bills. I mean,
you're getting close.
Well, that's who you are now. I mean, and because you've lost to these two, or this team specifically, right? Like, that's why I think that those are, you think of the 90s dynasties and you think of, the Cowboys and the Bills, or the Bulls, excuse me. And so the challengers who lost most often to them were Buffalo and Utah. And that's who you are. You're just a footnote in this grand story. It's the truth. I mean, like it sucks. And I mean, I think we're at a point now where I felt like when I took the dogs out after the game ended, I felt like this was the postseason of the boogeyman getting the best of the person that they own. Now, for the Chiefs, that's just everybody. Like they owned everybody. So, but like you think about it, like Buffalo was so dejected because it's like, man, we just can't get past this one dude. And similarly for Baltimore, for Dallas, it was like, well, Green Bay. You know what I mean? For Green Bay, it was San Francisco. I mean, Green Bay, just like the Cowboys, can't get past the 49ers. And so, like, this was the postseason, excuse me, of everybody ran into their brick wall, and the brick wall fought back, and the brick wall won. And the brickiest, walliest brick wall are the Kansas City Chiefs.
While we were paying attention to Las Vegas and all that glittered and glamored, the San Antonio Spurs were on the East Coast, continuing their ways. 0-3 now, and it's getting worse. Oh, they were embarrassed by Brooklyn. There was nothing there. There was nothing to see there. Nothing to see there.
I went all unders on Underdog Prize Picks, and it was the smartest decision I've ever made.
Pop says they're tired.
Who cares? Wake up. I mean, what a lame excuse. I mean, just.
At 7, we will do our silver and black and look at what the rest of the season brings us, as this is truly the time to focus on this team.
They don't deserve it. They don't deserve a whole segment.
I don't understand what the intent is, but we're going to get into the length and breadth of what we did see over the weekend. We didn't get a real chance to talk about the deadline coming and going and waving goodbye to Doug McDermott. We'll look at his exit and what this means. Are we the only? Are the Spurs the only team that got worse at the trade deadline on purpose?
I think that they're the only. I think they're the only one whose fans are in this predicament. You know what I mean? Like, do you think Pistons fans are like, oh no, Like Pistons fans have a right to be upset, but they don't have the same right. And I mean, like, nobody is this bad that should not be this bad that got worse.
It did strike me as we were out and amongst those from across the country, a lot of sports talk guys. And they don't get our anger, our pain. Like, what are you talking about? You just got Wemby.
I mean,
they like, what? Why are you mad? You're mad? They heard me ranting the other day, and somebody watched it. Why are you upset?
Having Wemby has only made it worse. I mean, from like an expectation standpoint, like it's made it worse in my brain. You know what I mean? Like it's nice to have him. Obviously, I'd much prefer this life, but and I'm not blaming him, to be very clear, but what has it changed? How has it been better? You know what I mean? If all it serves is as a reminder of like how the team is self-imposing a glass ceiling upon themselves. You know what I mean? Like that his 7 foot million stature can't break through.
Nothing. No, don't worry. It's all going to be fine.
What if it's not?
Well, what
if it won't be?
What
if it's not?
Reaction exactly. What are you talking about? Why are we not mad? We added the next. A guy like we were told might be Mahomes. Mahomes' team didn't get worse. They got better. Why can't we get better? Wasn't that like the Chiefs team when Mahomes took over a quarterback was chock full of talent? They added Mahomes. We added a Wemby. Very different outcomes so far. We'll talk about it at 7. I wish right now I was sitting in Phoenix waiting in line to get to run to the 16th hole. Did you see the zoo that became the Waste Management Open?
I did. I was keeping close tabs on it all weekend long. Obviously, one of the better tournaments of the year.
Who won? By the way?
Nick Taylor won.
There we go.
He won on the second playoff hole, and it was really inconvenient that it went to a playoff hole because I had it on the iPad while the Super Bowl was on. I was just like, Nick. It was Nick and Charlie Hoffman, who's a Vallejo, Texas Open legend. I just thought, like, if one of y'all could just fold. I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
collapse.
No offense, but like, none of us have the sports energy to devote to a second playoff hole or certainly a third playoff hole. So I was grateful that it finished when it did. But yeah, it was a fun tournament. PGA Tour has been off to a fun start.
But they had to shut down alcohol sales. You had dudes doing snow angels in the traps. I love it. The PGA just isn't equipped for such things. And I think they overreact a little bit and then they let things go too far. It's like a substitute teacher. Phoenix is the substitute teacher of the PGA Tour.
I know you said you love it, and this tournament is known for this.
The players
obviously.
hate it.
Well, I feel like this year's version of the Waste Management was, a test of like, okay, maybe we've pushed it too far.
Maybe it's like
yeah. You want to be the party hole and you want to be like everyone's chugging beers and stuff. Okay, but there's a limit, we definitely took it too far. I think that's okay. That's understandable. We all know where the bounds of operation are.
I think that the PGA learned a valuable lesson, but I do believe that the 16th hole should be emulated at every tournament, that there should be one gonzo hole that every player knows, like, man, here comes the gauntlet. They're going to be lined up. If I hit a great shot, I'm going to get a shower. But they let it go too far yesterday because everybody's expecting it. The PGA is just as ill-equipped for such things.
Something I was thinking about was, Liv had their tournament in Vegas where we were,
Mm-hmm.
their tournament this past weekend. And they obviously have the ability, because of the way they schedule their tour, to just have have a tournament in the city that the Super Bowl is in every week. They could do one in New Orleans next year, which is kind of interesting. And because of how they work with the 54 holes and everything, and I don't mean to, ruffle any feathers, but they also were done on Saturday. They adjusted their schedule, and instead of being done, on Sunday, and they were able to have everybody be home for the Super Bowl. I mean, it was kind of handled wisely in that sense. It was interesting. And like, we didn't run into the issue we did on Sunday with the tour as an example, just like, finish this playoff hole. But yeah, Waste Management. But the Genesis is up next, and Tiger Woods is playing. Look at that.
Things didn't go well at one of those. We will continue talking Super Bowl coming up as the game is complete. The double-digit deficit is exactly what Pat Mahomes was chasing. The final was 25-20. Yes, final 25-22. It took nearly 5 quarters to do it. Let's look at how they got there and how his goatness has ascended. It is over. The Kansas City Chiefs are your new world champions, and we're looking at a dynasty. Talking about it in completion next. This is 94.1, and you're on the Huddle.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's BABBEL.com.
And now another no-brainer money-saving tip from Progressive.
Marcus, what happened?
I was changing my oil and I spilled some on the floor.
Oh, we'll use these $50 bills to wipe it up.
Perfect. Got any more?
Yeah, take a couple hundred.
Stop. Instead of using money, use an old rag. And here's a better tip from Progressive on how not to waste money. Don't pay too much for car insurance. Drivers who switch and save could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Folks, there's nothing romantic about home repairs, but when your plumbing has lost that love and feeling and your AC is about to achy break your heart, call Quarterman Plumbing, Heat, and AC at 210-651-5899. We'll fix the issue fast at a great price with a servant spirit.
Joel, this is a special Valentine gift from me to you.
Yeah, but why are your arms red?
I got a deal on this plant for your office.
That's poison ivy, Nigel.
It's what?
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC. 210-651-5899. License number M16004. DACLA 000743458.
Around here at Wrangler, we are all excited for spring. The longer days, the warmer nights. When you've got your pick of shorts and jeans, either works just fine. Blue skies, open roads. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
Shop can't miss deals on appliances this President's Day at Lowe's. Right now, get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $75 on every $750 you spend on all major appliances, like LG, America's most reliable line of home appliances. Shop in-store or online for more deals you can't beat. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 2/28. Savings vary based on purchase amount. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for more details.
It's O-Rewards Bonus Points Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Shop in-store or online to earn points and get rewarded at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
What's wrong, Cupid?
Chris, I've lost my mojo. These arrows just don't work like they used to. The facts are people fall in love thanks to Connecticut, not poor old Cupid.
You don't say.
Oh, absolutely. Look over there. She's got silky smooth hair thanks to a Connecticut water softener. He's got softer skin and cleaner clothes, and now they're all lovey-dovey. Makes me sick.
Don't feel bad, Cupid. You still have your bow and arrow.
I'll rub it in, Chris. I know a Connecticut runs on kinetic energy like my bow and arrow. There's no computer to break. A Connecticut has it all.
This is Chris Canepa with Connecticut and San Antonio in the Hill Country. There's a reason people love their Connecticut. Right now, I'll let you try one for 90 days, absolutely free with no contract. Just call 656-PURE.
You know, you're right, Chris. I love my Connecticut, too. My diaper has never looked so white. And my wings, oh, I look good.
Cupid, you can always come to work for me.
You serious, Chris?
But you're going to have to wear pants.
ConnecticutSA.com.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass? Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just call 800-721-9205 for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Call 800-721-9205 right now. Don't wait. Call 800-721-9205. 800-721-9205.
First and goal at the 3. Lining up in the clock at 10 seconds and ticking. In the shotgun, Mahomes. 4-man front. Receiver in motion. Low snap. He runs and he throws. Caught. Touchdown. It's caught. Hardman caught the ball. The Chiefs have won. The Chiefs have won.
The great Kevin Harlan on the call.
Bench empties. Chasing Mahomes in the end zone. Their third Super Bowl in 5 years. The Chiefs are back-to-back Super Bowl champions. It is a dynasty.
That sounded a little bit better than Nance's job. But Kevin Harlan on the call as he closed it down. Kansas City Chief fan dancing. 23-24 season done. A dynasty in full. The Kansas City Chiefs take it 25-22. We're glad you're with us this morning. We got your coverage all day long as we are the only station anywhere near you that was live all week in Radio Row. We were in the belly of the beast, as it were. I'm glad to be out of that belly. After trailing by double digits in the first half, the Chiefs rallied to defeat the 49ers 25-22 in overtime. First half was a slugfest.
Yeah.
Not a lot of them landed. I'm not saying it was one of those, but they were hitting.
Felt like, well, they were hitting and it felt like everybody, and you often see this. That's why, if you do any kind of prop things or whatever, it's always kind of wise to take the unders in the first quarter, first half, because it's such a terrifying thing that everybody is afraid. Everybody's afraid. Even the Chiefs who'd been there and who'd won to and who had more experience than anybody else. Everybody is afraid to step one toe out of line. I mean, it felt like you talk about being a slugfest. It didn't seem that way. Like it starts off and San Francisco's moving and moving and moving. And you're thinking like, oh man, this is just going to be all Niner gang, bang, bang, or whatever their thing is. And then boom, Christian McCaffrey fumbles. And you're thinking like, okay, well now here comes, Kansas City. It's going to be a 7-point swing, 14-point swing rather. And nope, just can't get it done. I mean, it just was, everybody was so afraid to blink. That they were peering so hard through these open eyes, and the Niners' eyes just dried out a little bit more before it was all said and done.
A testament to Andy Reid to getting his team back together. They were out of sorts in the first half. The emotions were a little hot. The replay of the Kelsey Andy Reid. I don't know what. It looked accidental, but
that didn't bother me at all.
No, I'm just saying it was that. There were some stupid penalties. There was just. It seemed like the moment had gotten away from the Chiefs, like they were a little emotional. And to Andy Reid's a testament to him and his coaching staff, they got them all kind of back together. There's that. We saw the sidelines when Jones is calling this defense together. They were just a step short. They just were out of sync, and they kept saying that we're beating ourselves, kind of stuff. I'm not sure how much of that was, but I know that they were overly emotional. And the 49ers on the other side of the ball, at least on the defense, boy, they were keyed up. They were popping. They were hitting people, but I think they suffered an injury because of their level of excitement.
They were so excited. Who's the old Seahawks player? You know what I'm talking about? That ran out of the tunnel and just like bashed his head in with his helmet. Like
I know who you're talking about. It was bleeding.
It was like the bottom of the helmet, and he just like and then like you're right, like what a shock, like created a wound. And it just felt like, guys, chill.
Simmer down.
Like because they were just trying to like win the Super Bowl on every play, and you just can't. And I don't know if that's what led to Dre Greenlaw, but what a horrible situation. And to blow your Achilles, I mean, like, that takes him out well into the 2024 season now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, that is a just brutal way for that to happen. And I mean, I don't want to say it's not weird. It's just a weird coincidence, but it was Dre Greenlaw who was thrown out in the Big Dom thing. So, I mean, just kind of at the weird center of these weird moments for the 49ers all season long.
The way the camera was directly on him, so we saw what led to it. Just, I do believe, summed up exactly how that and the 49ers defense was hitting. I mean, they were keyed up. They didn't give up too many big stuff till late, but man, oh man, did that not epitomize what we were seeing. I really thought for the 49ers that they had the formula. They, in the first half, we saw it. Run the football, man. You're moving the ball. You're keeping it out of Mahomes' hands. It was working. I've never seen. It is so common for offensive coaches to lose themselves in the pass. I mean, how do you forget what was working for you?
Not only how do you forget, but how do you not prioritize nursing a 10-point lead? I mean, you know, you've got to make them beat you, and they didn't. I mean, I don't know if it's Kyle Shanahan getting too cute, but like, you know, we talk about these things like for other players or coaches, and we talk about like Lamar Jackson. Oh, he can't get it done in the playoffs or whatever the case may be. And now it's like, man, how can you possibly trust Kyle Shanahan with a 10-point lead? I mean, the dude's been in 3 Super Bowls. He's had a 10-point lead in all of them. Granted, he was only the offensive coordinator in one of them. And granted, he lost all 3 of them to the GOAT and perhaps the GOAT successor. So, you know, that context matters too. But like, you can't deny it. Like, he's getting in his own head at this point in time. Like, he gets a 10-point lead and he goes, you know, just scatterbrained and thinks like, I have to start thinking and moving and operating differently. I mean, this was a really bad game for Kyle Shanahan.
It really was.
We talked about it all week long. Like, the pressure's on him. The pressure's on him. You are just the ultimate bridesmaid. You are Kristen Wiig in the movie. That's who you are now at this point in time, Kyle Shanahan. I mean, did you like? I mean, there's a million places to go, so I don't mean to keep jumping around. But the overtime thing was a pretty big indictment of Kyle Shanahan. I mean, you have 2 weeks to prepare for this. You actually technically have a lifetime to prepare for this because it's the Super Bowl.
I want to get into that. Let's talk about we've anointed the Chiefs a dynasty. No one can argue now. They have ascended to that level. We'll also talk as we move on through the show, where exactly does Mahomes sit? Because it feels awfully like there's nobody above him. We'll look at that. But coming up, let's look at the 49ers, because this is a situation that it doesn't appear as awful as it is, because it's pretty awful. They're in a situation where they're not getting any better, not getting any younger, and they don't have any more money. And they can't beat the Chiefs. And the Chiefs at least are going to go for history. The 3-peat, they're coming back next year. You know, nobody's retiring, nobody's leaving. This is one of those things. I'll take less money to come around and see if we can truly make history. So what are the 49ers to do? And how do you forget McCaffrey? We're going to talk about what they did and how they got here coming up. The 49ers go down yet again as the Chiefs ascend. We're talking the Super Bowl 58 that was, and all that we saw and did behind the scenes. We're so glad you're with us today. This is the Morning Huddle, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on the Blitz, the football season is over. That's horrible.
Don't be sad.
I'm sad.
We had a great Super Bowl. And as I told you, Ryan Egel, don't bet against Patrick Mahomes.
Brock.
Yeah, another beer bet lost by Joe Ryan Egel. The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Tax day is coming.
Oh, no.
But if you sign up for Robinhood Gold's IRA with a 3% match, you can get up to $195 for the 2023 tax year.
Oh, yeah.
Sign up at Robinhood.com/boost by tax day to get the biggest contribution match on the market. Subscription fees apply.
Investing involves risk. 3% match requires gold for 1 year from first match. Must keep IRA for 5 years. Robinhood Financial, LLC, member SIPC.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save on bulk purchases of select insulation from trusted brands like Green Fiber. Plus, save an extra 5% every day on eligible purchases when you use your Lowe's business credit card. Visit us for the materials you need, because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location while supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. 5% offer subject to credit approval. Exclusions and terms apply. See store lowes.com/credit for details. U.S. only.
Show your love this Valentine's with exquisite fashion jewelry from Diamonds Direct and save an extra 20%. Now through Valentine's, all fashion favorites at Diamonds Direct are on sale. All earrings, all bracelets, all necklaces, stackable bands, colored gemstone jewelry, and more. Lots of romantic and timeless gifts for under $500. Special financing available too. Don't miss this. An extra 20% savings on all fashion jewelry favorites at Diamonds Direct. Shop in store or online at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
The way the NBA season is going in San Antonio, you need to find a way to add excitement to watching those games. Jason Minix here from The Blitz. The way to do that is by playing at Underdog Fantasy. Go download the Underdog Fantasy app and start playing the Pick'em game, where you pick between 2 and 5 players from at least 2 different teams. Select whether they will be higher or lower on stats, and if your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money. It is fantasy, but legal in Texas. So download the Underdog Fantasy app or go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up, use my promo code STAR, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. Plus, they'll give you a mystery special pick to use on your first pick'em entry. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Again, promo code STAR at UnderdogFantasy.com.
After years of discomfort, it's like I'm alive again.
Sonia Hackett talks about how QC Kinetics changed her life.
QC Kinetics has given me my quality of life back.
Before QC Kinetics, Sonia suffered from horrible knee and back pain stemming from a car accident.
I was wearing knee braces just to try to maneuver around.
Sonia hated the idea of pain meds, and surgery seemed too risky. So she turned to the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics, the leaders in advanced regenerative medicine.
That consultation just changed my life. I can do the treadmill, everything. I don't have anything holding me back. The quality of life is pain-free. QC Kinetics has made us very happy.
Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation today.
I'm going to get emotional again. They are like family members to me. They care.
Call QC Kinetics now.
Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318.
Jason Minix here. Guys, your testosterone levels start to decline in your 30s. If you're feeling a lack of energy and drive, it could be caused by low T. Get your levels tested at Synergenics. They make it quick and easy, and with the convenience of their on-site lab, you'll get your results back at your first visit. At Synergenics, you will get customized care from testosterone specialists. Conquer your New Year's resolutions. Go to fixmylowt.com to book online. That's fixmylowt.com.
This is something we talked about with none of us have a ton of experience of it, but we went through all the analytics and talked to those guys, and we just thought it'd be better. We wanted the ball third. But both teams matched and scored. We wanted to be the ones who had the chance to go win and got that field goal, so we knew we had to hold them to at least to a field goal. And if we did, then we thought it was in our hands after that.
They thought wrong. Welcome to the Morning Huddle. He's RJ Ochoa, the managing editor of Blogging the Boys. I'm Rob Thompson, the non-bespectacled, I know where my car is co-host of the Morning Huddle. So the analytics told the head coach of the 49ers, Shanahan, that if you get into overtime, all you really want to do is get the ball third. So you don't want to react. You want to get it. You want to just see what happens. And you want to wait. And you want to get it third.
So this is really dumb.
I can't get over that he came out level-headed and said it.
Okay, so the context is you want to get it third with the game tied. I think that's important.
Well, that's the only way you get it third.
I know, but I mean, it's still important to lay it out that way. What Kyle is saying is we want the ball when it's sudden death, which is effectively what it is, and everything's equal. Although like there's no analytics that support this. Like I
can't imagine where there is.
No, but like the Chiefs got the ball when it was sudden death, and that's why you in a situation like this you defer, because so obviously Kansas City got the ball in overtime down by 3, which is not a tied game, but like because it's not a tie game and because if they don't score in that position they lose, and they not just lose but they lose the Super Bowl. Like it is sudden death for them. And so you immediately cater to, like, you immediately give them this advantage, this like all-time quarterback. You put him in a situation where you remove the punter. There's no punting happening in that situation from Kansas City. So you put Mahomes in 4-down territory constantly. He even had the 4th down conversion early in the drive. And I mean, he was masterful at it because you literally force him into a line of aggression. This was just, Kyle Shanahan is truly the most, galaxy brain dude in the NFL. I mean, he overthought this. There's no doubt about it. I thought it was telling that afterwards, all the Chiefs players said, yeah, we talked about this. Like we talked about these unique rules, and we talked about how if we got the ball second and San Francisco had scored a touchdown, we were going to go down the field, we were going to score a touchdown, and we were going to go for 2. We were going to go for the win, which would be the right move in that situation. Whereas the Niners players, Kyle Juszczyk and Eric Armstead said, I didn't know the rules were different. They were like, I didn't know they were different until they flashed them on the Jumbotron.
Do you think that, I was going to ask the question, do you think that, I guess Kyle got it. I guess they knew the rules by asking for 3rd. That tells me they had a gist of the new rule. But
how does everyone not know that? Like,
I don't get it.
You literally have 2 weeks to talk about things for this game. So like, how do you not say, okay, guys, the overtime rules are different? And I think it's stupid that they're different. I hate that this exists now because the Bills won and complained, ironically, because of a loss to the Chiefs. But the rules are still the rules. Like, you got to understand the rules of engagement. So, man, Kyle Shanahan, he abandoned the run, obviously, with Christian McCaffrey, and that opened the door for the comeback to even happen.
I'm glad you went there.
It isn't just the horrible execution at the end. Like, Kyle Shanahan had a horrible second half in this game.
They got away from one of the few things that was consistent for them early, and it was McCaffrey and whoever was running the ball. They were good at it. It was working. And it is so common for an offensive coordinator to get lost in a pass game. Why don't we ever see an OC? Why are we ever bitching about an OC? Like, man, you ran the ball too much. Why didn't you pass? What is it about the OC's mentality? You forget about something that's half of your offense.
I mean, they traded for Christian McCaffrey. They traded a lot for, this isn't like, I mean, I don't know, your 6th round rookie, you know what I mean? That you're just not feeding the ball. This is the literal offensive player of the year.
The leading rusher in the NFL. You forgot about it.
Again, I'm not sad about it. I was rooting for the Chiefs, obviously, and I think most Cowboys fans were. But dude, like, and I mean, if you can't get it done in this moment, Kyle, what's the 10-point lead you need that you won't squander? You know what I mean? Like, how many more superstars and all pros and award winners do you need on your team to beat the weakest offense in the Patrick Mahomes era? We've talked about the Niners here. Dude, this was like a run for the Chiefs. They literally were underdogs in 3 straight games. They beat the hardest playoff field that they've ever had from a DVOA perspective. I mean, they did it. They went into 3 houses and they robbed them all, and they're kings of the universe because of it. But man, back to Kyle. Like, I just don't know how you can trust him. I don't know how you can believe in him. And it's awkward. It's awkward because you can't fire him because he's so good, but you can't trust him because he's going to do this. He's going to find a way to do this. There's too much history to prove otherwise.
The 49ers their free agency issues aren't huge, but they're enough to really give concern. And while I feel bad for some of these guys, I feel terrible for Fred Warner. I feel terrible for that guy because they didn't lose because of him.
They didn't lose because of any player. Like, can you say like, oh, Brock Purdy was bad? No. I mean, George Kittle was bad? No. They were all good. They were all really
Kittle
good.
was taken out of the game. Fred Warner had a hell of a football game. Fred Warner was the best player on the defense.
He's the best off-ball linebacker in the NFL. Totally.
He was there, did all he could, and the 49ers as a team just wasn't up to the task yet again.
Marco talked about this in the Brigade Bar, but Nick Bosa was so good. He was so disciplined with Mahomes. I mean, like, that was such a great performance. As a group, the players did enough to win. I mean, if you have to pick a fall guy for San Francisco, it's Kyle Shanahan. I mean, there's no – and I was checking out our buddy Rob Stats-Guerra's postgame show on the Gold Standard Network, and we'll have him on tomorrow. But, Niners fans were really mad at Kyle, but they were really mad at Steve Wilkes, the Niners defensive coordinator, for going soft coverage at the end.
Yeah.
And I think it's unfair to blame him specifically for the end, because the sequence shouldn't have happened that way. They shouldn't have been, on their heels protecting a 3-point lead, because Kyle should have deferred. Kyle should have deferred when they won the toss, and they didn't, because they didn't know the rules. I mean, can you imagine if this happened? I hate to do this, but if this happened to the Cowboys and Tony Pollard came out and was like, I didn't know the rules were different. Like, there's just, that was weird. Like, that the rules are different in the playoffs. We didn't find out till the overtime was unfolding. People would put Mike McCarthy's head on a stick. Right. You know what I mean? Like, this is an all-time gaffe by somebody who people act like is. Thank you very much, Mike. By somebody who people act like is, like levitating on water. It's ridiculous.
We're going to talk about the greatness that is Mahomes coming up, because he has ascended to a level that we really, you just don't think you're going to see very often. But strangely enough, in the NFL, we're seeing it again really soon. Michael at least had a couple of years to celebrate his goatness. At least for a few, there was no question that Michael, at least to most, was the greatest guy to ever step on a basketball field. Tom Brady barely took his cleats off, and we're about to replace him. But wait till you hear the numbers. It's hard to argue. Pat Mahomes, he's only 28. He now has 15 playoff wins. Now, he's still behind Brady and Montana for the most by a starting quarterback since 1950.
He's barely behind Montana.
But he's a young man with a lot more time to go.
He's also really, really, really likable. Like, really, really likable.
That's what makes me dislike him even more. Wow. No, we love the Pat Mahomes. The numbers bear it out. We got us a GOAT. Let's talk about it next as Mahomes and the Chiefs do something that hadn't been done in 20 years. Now they're chasing something that hadn't ever been done. We'll talk about greatness coming up next, because this is what we do and who we are. The Morning Huddle, RJ Ochoa, Rob Thompson, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas, with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
When something happens to your kitchen, you might say,
"This is ludicrous."
But that won't fix your home. That will only get you the rapper, Ludacris.
Having trouble? Don't panic. Don't be alarmed. You need to file a claim? Holla at State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
That's right. You can file a claim on the app or call us.
Thanks, Mr. Chris.
No matter how ludicrous the situation, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
Asante came to TurboTax after graduating from culinary school and landing a job in the hottest kitchen in town.
My hands are full all day, every day. I love it.
Asante, as your TurboTax expert, I'll make your moves count, guaranteeing 100% accurate filing and your maximum refund. Sound good?
Yes, expert.
Switch to Intuit TurboTax and make your moves count. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Pork rinds pack a protein punch and are the boldest low-carb snacks out there. Skip the chip and try Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds for that ultimate crunch. and with flavors that will have you craving for more, the time to stock up on Southern Recipe at H-E-B is now. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. Be big, be bold, be adventurous.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
If you only have a 401k, you're not getting the most for retirement.
Wait, what?
Add a Robinhood IRA on top, then they'll boost it by 3%.
You can do that?
And if you transfer in any retirement account, you get 3% on top of that.
Is there a limit to the match?
No limit. Robinhood Gold gets you the biggest contribution match of any IRA on the market. Sign up for Robinhood Gold at Robinhood.com/boost by April 30th. Subscription fees apply.
Investing involves risk. 3% match requires gold for 1 year from first match. Must keep IRA for 5 years. Match on transfers subject to additional terms and conditions. Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
The NFL is on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. We're putting the NFL season to bed. That means we're playing golf soon. Go dust off those clubs. Your Sundays are now free. You can get practicing for a Monday that's just around the corner, as we're going to be playing golf out at the Golf Club of Texas in just a couple of months. Get yourself signed up because the 25th of March, we're going to be out at the GTC. Easy for you to say. Easy to sign up. Go to sasportstar.com. There should be a little spliff, a little extra something. You play with RJ and I. Grab your clubs, get your sticks. Come out, beautiful place. It's going to be fun. You know, as you put to bed the football season, now it's like, I saw the commercials. It's time to do your taxes.
Oh my gosh, I just saw an amazing tweet from JJ Watt. He tweeted, "Did you watch any post-game or pre-game stuff yesterday?"
I was in and out. You know what I mean? Yeah, I was on.
Like you had it on while you were cooking. So JJ Watt tweeted, "You ever switch up your hair and wonder if anyone will notice?" They notice.
I noticed.
JJ's hair was equipped for the type of middle school dance that took place when Usher's music was like mainstream.
He was slick, wasn't he?
It was like a 2005-ish sort of, rock that the JJ had going on. But that was like, I've always found JJ to be, he's always been a little bit too like corporate for me. Like he's a wonderful human being, but in terms of his like, public persona, he's a little too cookie cutter. This was funny. Like this was well done by him. Wow. Good job, JJ.
That's too funny because my wife was the first one to pick that out.
It looked
what's up
awful,
with his hair?
There was I brought up Boy Meets World before. There was an episode where he had some kind of curly hair at the top that looked a little bit like that, and somebody was like kind of noting how difficult it looked, and somebody said, "How do you not cut your fingers when you like roll your hand through your hair?" It was
there's something came off on his hand if he did that. Pat Mahomes added to what was already a stellar legacy. He is the fifth quarterback to win at least 3 Super Bowls, joining Brady, Montana, Bradshaw, Aikman, and the third to do so within 7 seasons, joining just Brady and Aikman. Mahomes is now the third, has 3 Super Bowls and 2 NFL MVP awards. He joins rare air Tom Brady and Joe Montana as the only players to reach those ranks. Mahomes achieved it in 7 seasons, 4 fewer than Brady and 5 fewer than Montana, though.
He's unbelievable. I mean,
and what I can keep going. You want some more? He is the 7th player in the NFL, NBA, NHL, and MLB history to win at least 3 championships and 2 regular season MVPs within the first 7 years, and the first to do it since Larry Bird, way back in 79 to 86.
He's having a Madden career, right? Like when you,
the
you start a career,
the dynasty mode kind of stuff.
You're just like you're winning everything. You're like, oh, this would never happen. Like nobody could conceivably ever do this in real life, and he's doing it. I mean, it's It's really cool that he's doing it for this, historical team that was kind of not really prominent before. You know what I mean? Like it's do they have 4 world championships now? I mean, they're up there. They're tied with the New York Football Giants. They're one behind the Cowboys. I mean, do you think he'll get 2 more before it's all said and done?
Easily.
Yes, right. So that's what I'm saying. They're gonna tie at least what is the current record that Pittsburgh and New England share. I mean, they're one behind as a franchise, the team who they just beat. Like they're one behind the mighty San Francisco 49ers, who have a longer Super Bowl drought than the Dallas Cowboys, mind you. I mean, like, and he just did it with the worst team he's ever had. And he had to go to the house of all the people who were supposed to be his challengers and his adversaries in Buffalo and Baltimore. He even took on Miami along the way in the coldest game in a billion years or whatever it was. Like, we have never seen anything like this. It is the early Patriot days were not Tom Brady led the way that these Chiefs days are led by Patrick Mahomes.
Absolute, perfectly said. The early years of Brady, it wasn't like this. There was other stuff that were winning, and Brady was just helping, but he wasn't doing it alone. Now, eventually he was, but early on, there was other dudes. Defense was solid. They had stud. They had, Randy Moss was out. I mean, it wasn't like
they didn't even win a Super Bowl with Randy Moss. Like,
so when they had the talent, it was more about other stuff, and then Brady took them later. This is Mahomes. It's Mahomes. Without him, they ain't there. And while it wasn't the prettiest run, I think there's more to come. But so far, it's his most impressive, as you just said. They had to go to other people's houses. They had to do it in terrible weather. They had to do it with Swifty in the way. They had to do it with a lot of stuff, and they managed to pull it off. And I don't think we realize the gravity of how good the Chiefs have had to be to get where they are over these, 5 playoff games.
Something that I think is super impressive about Mahomes specifically is when you are as successful of an athlete as he is in today's day and age, you are not just an athlete. You are not just a quarterback of a very visible team. You're a corporation. Like Patrick Mahomes is a corporation in and of himself. The quarterback series that Netflix did last year, he did that. Like, think about the 3 quarterbacks who did that. It was him, Marcus Mariota, and Kirk Cousins. Like, no offense to Kirk, but like, he dealt with that. And something that struck me was there was a clip of him talking to Jalen Hurts at media night last year. And he was real chummy, and he said, yeah, we booked this Airbnb or whatever I'm in, a year ago, just in advance. And like think about the processing and planning and orchestrating that has to happen in and around his life constantly with all the things he's affiliated with at this point in time. And I mean, the demands on him, and he manages to live up to them all. He's personable. He's active on social media, right? Like, he defies all these things that we know to be conventional for highly successful quarterbacks. Like, he is one of one. He is a singular corporation that has defied every expectation we could have ever had.
We'll talk about the greatness that is Andy Reid. He has joined a rare club. Where does he rank amongst the top 5 that have done what he has done? We'll look at that in the 7 o'clock hour. But first and foremost, we'll address the problems at home. The silver and black coming up next. As the Spurs leave, the problems stay here. See if they can get one under their belts as the Rodeo Road Trip continues. We're talking Wemby and the rest coming up next on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The boys are back from Vegas.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
You heard the big game on Sunday, and the boys made it back thanks to AA Best Bail Bonds and presented by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds and Synergenics. Next year, it's off to the Big Easy on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Denise has been playing jazz for 40 years. Last concert, one of the musicians fell sick with RSV. Respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV, is a highly contagious virus that can lead to breathing problems. This time, she's choosing to help protect herself with Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo. Abrysvo is a vaccine for the prevention of lower respiratory tract disease caused by respiratory syncytial virus, RSV, in adults 60 years of age and older. Abrysvo is not for everyone and may not protect all who receive the vaccine. Don't get Abrysvo if you've had a severe allergic reaction to its ingredients. People with a weakened immune system may have a decreased response to Abrysvo. The most common side effects are tiredness, headache, pain at the injection site, and muscle pain. Ask your pharmacist or doctor about Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo, respiratory syncytial virus vaccine. For full prescribing information, please call 1-844-989-7284 or visit abrysvo.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Here in San Antonio, if our football teams aren't winning, we make changes. So if you're losing against your non-energy efficient windows, call Maverick Windows at 800-972-3631 and get a free quote for new energy efficient windows. That's 800-972-3631.
Hey everyone, it's Joe Montana. Spreading the word about pneumococcal pneumonia, a potentially serious bacterial lung disease that can be life-threatening. If you're 65 or older like me, you're at increased risk. So, what's the game plan? A strong defense. Pneumococcal pneumonia can strike at any time in any season, so you shouldn't wait to help protect yourself. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist about vaccination today and learn more at knowpneumonia.com. That's KNOW pneumonia.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
When something happens to your car, you might say, but what you really need to say is something that can actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
And just like that, State Farm is there to help you file your claim right on the State Farm mobile app. So just remember, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
When was the last time you went to the dentist? Need a new dentist? Hi, Jason Minix here. Go see my dentist at Smile Structure Dentistry and Braces. Smile Structure can handle all your dentistry needs, from general dentistry to oral surgery, orthodontics for the kids, or Invisalign for adults. Mention this ad, get a free exam and x-rays. Veteran owned with 5 San Antonio area locations. Learn more and book an appointment online at smilestructure.com. That's smilestructure.com.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text STREAK to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text STREAK to 42424. That's STREAK to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Getting your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt can lead to some spirited reactions.
Jackson Hewitt!
Jackson Hewitt is so sure they'll get you your biggest refund that if they don't, you get your money back plus $100.
Jackson Hewitt!
Switch to Jackson Hewitt and we'll beat what you paid last year, even if you filed online. Ain't nothing to it. Switch to Jackson Hewitt and pay less for tax prep, guaranteed. Proof of prior year payment required when filing. New clients only at participating locations through April 7th. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for Aggies basketball.
All the way to the basket. Laid up and in, counted and one.
KTFM Floresville, San Antonio's Sports Center.
In the NFL, the 23-24 season is done as your Kansas City Chiefs repeat, taking down the 49ers 25-22 in deep overtime. Pat Mahomes is your Super Bowl MVP. The San Antonio Spurs continue their losing ways, going down 123-103 to Brooklyn. They're 0-3 on the Rodeo Road Trip. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
How good do you want to be? From play one to the last play, we fighting. Today's about opportunity and character. We got a chance to come out here and play football. It's a blessing. Hey, every season is full of defining moments. Let's make this day a defining moment for us in our quest. Let's go, baby.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here are the guys.
Hey, gather around. We got something to talk about. It is the Morning Huddle. He's RJ Ochoa, the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, and my faithful co-host. I'm Rob Thompson, the bespectacled co-host, sitting in front of a camera who knows where his car is. Welcome aboard hour 2 of the Morning Huddle. We do it every day at 7. Let's talk some silver and black. As painful as it may be, sometimes you just got to take your medicine. So here we sit. They're in Toronto tonight. Get a chance to, go north of the border, celebrate appropriately. 0-3 on the Rodeo Road Trip. We're minus a Dougie McBuckets. Thanks for all you did. They lost to the Brooklyn Nets by 20 points last night and really didn't offer a whole lot. Pop says they're tired.
Give me a break. I mean, what?
So, this is a situation that, while we can bellyache and complain and all that, there's got to be an apparent plan if we're going to go through this. So I think it's now time to start looking through the next couple of months. And what do you see Pop is doing? I want you to hear, this is Pop yesterday after their 0-3 start on the rodeo. And we'll give you some back to it, behind the scenes stuff to it after we hear from him. This is it.
I'm seeing signs of it in everybody, but that's the same with basically every team. It's the dog days and it's tough. I wanted to see how we would react on the road here on this road trip, because we've had before that. I think this is the fourth weekend of 3 and 4 nights, and that's tough along with the Rodeo Road Trip. So I understand why they'd be tired, but we can't use that. They got to try to fight through it. I think they're having a little bit of a tough time getting through that.
Greg Popovich, he's not making an excuse. I don't believe he is, and he does have a point. This first couple of weeks, so last couple of weeks, they have had busy weekends, Thursday, Friday, Sunday games. But that outing it's just so freaking lackluster. It's just like these guys are rolling out. They know that there is zero expectation. Their coach is making excuses for them. And there's really no need to win. You just don't see the desire to go get anything because the excuse is already out there. Hey, we're young and we're trying to get better. So don't expect us to win.
This is silly. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not doing the millennial participation trophy. Everyone's making an excuse, but what? You're tired? Are you just learning how the NBA operates and how scheduling works? Are you new to the Rodeo Road Trip? Is this a new phenomenon? This is ridiculous. I mean, spare me. I mean, I could kind of stretch and maybe try to understand this if they were losing on buzzer beaters or last second, and it's just we lost focus, man. We've been playing these tight games and they're exhausting mentally. Rob, since the Rodeo Road Trip began, they lost by 12 in Miami. By the way, after they had a half-week-long break, after they got trounced by Cleveland. Lost by 12 in Miami, lost by 16 at Orlando, lost by 20 at Brooklyn. That's not tired. That's just you suck. That's not tired at all. People are going to say, what do you expect him to say? I'm not saying that he should come out and say they suck, but if Pop's going to try to toe this line that they're tired, we have a right to call baloney on it, because this is ridiculous that you're tired. Wake up. You all are so bad right now.
I'm going to give you a stat that'll just sum things up. First of all, let's do some good and bad. Wemby continues to play well. In first-year players, he's a rookie, 20.3 points per game, 10 rebounds.
Meaningless.
1 point. It is meaningless, and he's going to have to settle for personal success. He's got 3.1 blocks. He's not going to get team wins. The Spurs have lost 7 straight. And they're headed into a nice little all-star break as Wemby and Devin will have something to do next weekend. Toronto tonight, a team that they acquitted themselves pretty well the last time they played, but they're worse, and there's no incentive to win. So if there's no incentive to win, and they're getting worse, and we're not even seeing the incremental growth that we could hang our hats on before.
If there's no incentive to win, then there are no repercussions for losing.
Thank you.
I mean, we're just existing. That's all this is. We're all showing up to the court and watching 48 minutes trickle down. That's it. It's just simply a process. These are all just numbers for the teams we play to use in their seating positioning. That's it. That's all they are. It is utterly meaningless basketball being played, despite having a generational lottery ticket that you won, walking and talking and dominating on the court in front of you. It's malpractice at this point in time. There's just nothing. There's no way to go. There's no redeeming quality to this. This is not worth anything, or nothing will make this worth it. Nothing. This is horrible. And it's to be told that they're tired is the ultimate, don't pee on me when it's raining, or don't pee on me and tell me it's raining type of thing. You are bad. We all know it. We're all adult enough. We all know what not bad looks like, and it's not you.
I'm curious. They let Ben Simmons go 6 of 7 last night.
Dude, oh
Ben
my
Simmons,
gosh.
6 or 7.
Oh, Saturday night.
I'm sorry, Saturday night.
Yeah. That's the worst thing.
Did you guys see that? I mean, and it wasn't like they were contested shots. They were easy shots. They allowed Ben Simmons, and most teams would. After the third one, though, they'd go, you know what? Maybe he's feeling it tonight. Let's play a little bit of defense. Keldon did have 19 coming off the bench, and I will give him credit that he is playing as well in his role as anybody else on the team other than Victor. He's playing better than Devin in his role. I think Blake Wesley has been pretty successful in his role, but for the most part, it has been lackluster and unable and really uninspired. And Wemby, we love you. I just went down. There are times when Pop allows him to sleepwalk on the court. To just did you see him get dunked on by Claxton get him the other night? Dude, wake up. He gets lackluster because I think he sees the rest of his team overlooking him. It's this insidious process disease that I warned everybody about last October. Once you get locked in the process, you can't get out because everything that happens is justifiable as part of the grand plan. Everything. We lost? Well, it's okay because part of the grand plan is we got a little bit better here. Oh, we lost again 10 straight, 7 straight. Well, part of the grand plan is a better draft pick. Oh, we traded away a little bit of value in Doug McDermott, but got nothing in return. I mean, a second rounder and some cash. But it's okay. It's part of the process. We're not done yet. Wait till you see what we do tomorrow or next week, because really this process is about the next process move. And you get to do that for days, years, months. It can keep going. Philadelphia is still in the process. They don't have a ring.
They don't
even have a finals
They haven't even
appearance.
been to an Eastern Conference Finals. You know what I mean?
A decade and a half later, they're still in the process. And that is the trap we're in right now. You can justify everything with the potential for success over the horizon. Oh, it don't look good now, but the planks we're laying today will be the stairs to greatness later. Ain't no greatness coming. We're getting worse.
I don't think that these feelings are irrational. I recognize that as Spurs fans, we are all frustrated, right? I recognize that maybe you want there to be optimism to be found. Maybe you want to find something to hold on to. There's not, man. And like you can't get on to people for being mad about this. You just can't. Like it'd be. I'm not like, again, I don't mean to do the like, oh, we're the Spurs and we play for titles and anything less than that is not acceptable, because you can understand, like you can understand when there's growth happening, even if it's incremental growth. There isn't incremental growth happening there. Like that's lowering the bar even a lot, and it's still not happening. This is simply existing. This is simply the only processing that's happening, Rob, is aging. That's it. Like it's literally everybody shows up and is 48 minutes older than they were when the game began. That's it. That's all that is accomplished. It's just a waste of time. I mean, it really is. Like how can you trust that the future will be any better at this point in time? You can't. Like, dude, they can't look decent in a game. Decent. The Timberwolves win feels like 500 days ago. I mean, it's amazing to think that they won 2 games in a row. I mean, honestly.
This is what is so aggravating, and we can harp on it over and over, but this is Victor Wembanyama. He is putting together one of the greatest rookie seasons of all time, as far as stats go. As far as what he's doing, he's putting up numbers like any of the greatest rookie seasons that have ever happened. Tim Duncan, his rookie year, 21, 11, 9, 2.5, and 2. I mean, nobody, that is pretty freaking astounding. And he's not quite there, but he's pretty damn close. Look at what Blake Griffin did back in 2010. 22.5, 12, and 3. Victor's within a bucket and a rebound of that. Elvin Hayes in 68, 69, 28, 17, 1, a little bit over 1. Now we're getting into some rare air where teams are, but every team, every player I'm talking about of these guys, their teams were in the playoff hunt. Every one of them. Every one of them. Luka Doncic in 2018-19. Shaq in 92. David in 89. Immediate. LeBron in 03. Magic in 79. Larry Bird in 79. Elgin Baylor in 58. Michael Jordan in 84. He is putting up numbers like these guys. But their teams, who were also bereft of talent because they were drafted number 1 or close to it, they managed to get there. What is the difference? Talent? Those teams didn't have any talent. They were all awful. Only Magic. Magic landed on a pretty decent team. Nobody else did. And every one of them was in the playoff hunt. So it's not talent. So what's next in the hierarchy of problems? It's coaching. There's no other. There's nothing else. Because Wemby's doing it. The numbers tell us. He is doing exactly what the greatest who have ever done it have done. But they won. But we're getting better daily. We're working on fundamentals, which tells a lot of things right there. I don't want to get into that. You can't use tired and doldrums as an excuse.
No, dude, I mean, like, you can't use tired in February. Like, that is so ridiculous. You're not even at the All-Star break yet. You know, like, it's just, and this is actually, I mean, it's not really a prediction, but like, we'll hear that, right? First comments outside of the break, we really needed that break. You know what I mean? We were the Rodeo Road Trip, and we were really tired. Yeah, I bet you're tired. You're losing all the time. Everybody's working you. Like, everybody's stepping all over you. It must be really tiring to go through that on a nightly basis. I mean, how could anyone possibly believe, do you think they have a shot against Toronto tonight? No. You think they have a shot against Dallas on Wednesday? No. Think they have a shot in Sacramento? No. Think that they have a shot against the Lakers or the Jazz or the Wolves trying to get revenge? No.
But here we sit. But it's nobody's fault. It's just part of the process. We don't need immediate gratification. If you can just hold out and see what we see. There's, they're going to tighten this thing up. And next year, maybe something else.
Don't worry. Next year,
all
this will be fixed. I mean, what a crock, man. I mean, like, what a just, again, I don't know that there's a good thing you can say in the middle of all this, but and maybe you just get tired of saying the same things, but at the very and because people will say things like, oh well, we asked for transparency and we asked for honesty and they give it. This isn't transparency. Transparency would be we're just not where we want to be right now, and we're just as frustrated by that. We're trying some different things and they're not working, and we're all experiencing growing pains, and we recognize that we have one of the most talented players in the world on our team, and we're failing him on a nightly basis, and that frustrates us just as much as it frustrates you, if not more.
Of all the vital statistics, Wemby leads the team in all but one, and that's an assist. Wemby's getting 20, 10, 1 steal a game, a little bit over 3 blocks a game.
He's not even like, being pushed to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, what does it look like when he's like really, really pushing? And the fact that we don't even know that yet is also frustrating, right? Like the fact that we haven't seen this car hit 3 digits yet is also on them.
And there's no help coming around the bend. There's no trade. There's no injured player to get healthy. This is as good as it gets. They're healthy. Zach Collins continues to nurse that ankle, but for the most part, this is as healthy as this team is going to be. 7 straight losses, 6 more Rodeo Road Trip games, and a weekend off. It is entirely possible we won't see a Spurs win until March.
First game of March is against Doug's Pacers.
And by the way, I feel so bad for Chetty Osman. Free Chetty. Free the man.
Chetty was, they all packed up for the Rodeo Road Trip, said, all right, guys, let's enjoy the plane rides. Let's get some good games of Fortnite on the plane. You know what I mean? Let's just, let's just really celebrate.
No one comes to play more than Chetty does. He is the one guy every night who I guess, I'm sure there were offers for Chetty and probably some good ones. But while McDermott will miss his shooting because we're down to like one other guy. But if Chetty was gone, there goes the heartbeat of that team. Literally, Chetty is the glue veteran of that team. Has been all season long. He's the one guy that when he's on the court, I don't worry about him getting back. I worry about everybody else getting back. I don't worry about Chetty. Pop couldn't afford to let him go. He's the only guy that this whole team has to mirror. I mean, he's the only vet that is here showing him how to do things. See, poor Chetty, you're a victim of your quality. We couldn't let you go, man. You're going to have to suck this up. Embrace the suck, dude.
Yeah, without you, we would be a real joke.
I mean, I can't imagine what this team would look at. And we're talking about Chetty Osman. At the end, I'm talking about Chetty Osman being the most valuable part on this team. Can you imagine where we sit? And I'm honestly, I believe that he is he ain't the best by far. But right now, Chetty's the only one that brings pepper every night.
I mean, I don't know that I would go that far.
He is. Watch him. Watch the tape.
Well, I mean, if you ask Devin, Devin brings the pepper every night. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one thinks it's Devin Vassell time like Devin Vassell.
Well, the sad thing is, he does believe that. The sad thing is, I think a lot of these guys think that they're truly playing, that they're really giving it everything, and they're not.
I would offer. Well, no, I can't say Keldon on a nightly basis. I can't even say Wemby.
Well, I'll congratulate Keldon. He is thriving in his role, and no, it's not helping the team any. But his coming off the bench, the activity that he brings, I'm not really complaining about Keldon right now. I don't really have an issue. He's one of those guys getting the buckets as required. Now, if he could start making some layups, it would be nice. But what he's doing is absolutely effective. Go out and do something, make a difference. He and Blake Wesley are doing those kind of things, but it's just not enough. I mean, we got a thimble when we need a bucket. We're a long way. We're sinking.
We're the 3 months before spring break. That's all we are. People show up here to get in shape and get right, so that when they go on the real party, you know what I mean, wherever that is, for Chetty, not for Chetty, for Doug, it's Indiana. They're good. You know what I mean? They're in swimsuit season. You know what I mean? They're ready to rock. We're the treadmill. You know what I mean? That they put up with for 90 days, so that when the show starts, they look good and they're ready to roll.
And the very fact that we're looking, how many, we can't add any more rookies to this team. We can add one more. This team is too young already, or remarkably under-talented. And us looking at the draft for help, it's not there. There's no help in the draft this year. Anything that you get in this draft will not help you for 3 years. There's just nothing there. I also think
that you are now running the risk as you continue to just suck, right? Like for a long time, using this team as an example, the Spurs rode the benefit of their reputation. It's why, I'm not saying this is like a free agent, hotbed, but that's why LaMarcus Aldridge shows up, right? Because your reputation precedes you. Now your reputation is like, oh, you stink, right? Like now your reputation is, oh man, like I don't want to go there. Like there's nothing to be there. And so like the idea of Trae Young becomes all the more difficult to obtain the more you continue to suck, the more you continue to be this way, because it's a matter of like, it's, like you're getting further and further and further and further away from, like you're at a place where this generation of NBA players don't know you to be that. They just know you to be this joke. And so why would anybody want to be a part of you? Why would anybody want to go play for Pop? Why would it's not, this isn't 2016 anymore. Like you're so far and so disconnected from that point in time that all you are to the most important people that matter in this moment in time is a joke.
And to get yourself out and away from a joke normally requires a swing for the fences or something ridiculous. And you have to hope the next move works. You can't slowly dig your way out of situations like this.
And
you
if
end
you
up
swing for the
8 years in the process, 12 years in the process.
Okay, like I know you're hating on that, and I recognize how stupid what I'm about to say is. I would trade places with that in a heartbeat. You know what I mean? Like people say all the time, like, oh, I would rather tank or whatever, this and that. And like tanking does, help in some instances, but it does lead to Joel Embiid or it does lead to Wemby, right? In different circumstances. But like, I would be so much more entertained to be a Sixers fan as of late than a Spurs fan, right? Like you're getting players, you're trading for players, you're signing players, like you're at the very least taking swings, and it sucks to miss, right? Like, every Sixers fan is like in pain because they keep missing and missing and missing. But like, dude, at least they go up to bat. You know what I mean? The Spurs are like, well, I don't want to go up to bat because I might strike out, or I might, have a foul ball that gets caught for an out. Like, go up and take a swing.
No, you're right, and it's unfortunate that I used the Sixers as the example, but that's where the process was born, and they still don't have a title. Now, there's a lot of reasons why they don't. They've whiffed on draft picks. They've made mistakes with free agency. They haven't surrounded their stars with the right guys. There's lots of reasons why teams don't win. But the process, they are the indicative thing of that. We were told, trust the process 10 years ago, and the process is still in play. And that first part of the process, remember they're drafting like Nerlens Noel, and the final piece of that was getting Ben Simmons in there with a broken Joel Embiid, and trust the process. And everybody just kept waiting. But the longer you wait, the more likely something negative will happen. I believe that if you talk about a process, you immediately define that in 4 years. A process should never last any more than 4. Really, a process is only 3. 3 years.
It should last. It should last the cycle of a contract.
Which you think like, that's a 3-year deal with the next one up. So I get a bunch of players, young and old, and at the end of that first generation's contracts, if it ain't theirs, the process is done. Start a new
point. My only point is that they have turned into a consistent playoff contending team in the Eastern Conference, right? And if not for the emergence, and I recognize this is easy to say.
Oh no, you're right.
But if not for the emergence of Jason Tatum and Giannis, right? Like they probably would have at least reached the conference finals at some point in time, right? And if not for, a million things. Jimmy Butler just, being Jimmy Butler at certain moments, right? Like, they've just run into these like unfortunate sports things, but like, generally speaking, this is something we talk about with all teams, but like if you are a consistent playoff team, if you are consistently in the mix, you increase the chances that at some point fate will smile upon you. And that hasn't happened to them specifically. But my point is like, be aggressive like that. Be aggressive in your team building. I mean, be aggressive. So, and keep giving yourselves bites at the apple. Like it hasn't worked out for them, but and I know you weren't saying this specifically, but that isn't an indictment against not the actual literal process, but the representative process. I mean, you have to try. You have to try, and the Spurs are not trying.
To me, you circle a date, and right now, I think we've renewed the rebuild. And if I go by my definition, a rebuild should be complete, or at least in the essence of where you want to be, in 3 years. You have 3 years. The Spurs have 6-8 draft picks. They've got a whole bunch of money. So what I want to see is every decision that they're making, how does it affect 2027? Where are we going to be then? Not 2028. Where are we going to be in 3 years? Now, we better be in the playoffs in 1.5, 2 years. We better be there. But I'm talking about if you do things right, in 3 years, you should be contending. You have to act like that every day. 2027. But every day you don't act like that, that's one day further down the road. And they act like we got all the time in the world. Plenty of time. Nothing bad happens. Guys don't get hurt. Guys don't get mad at their coach and want to bail out and foil everybody's plan. We got plenty of time. Guys don't change their minds and get tired of the coach or rupture an Achilles or blow out a quad. We got plenty of time.
Like, to piggyback on that, even when you think you're ready, you probably aren't. Like, even when you think you're ready, nothing is a guarantee. I just saw this tweet about the Niners, obviously, day after the Super Bowl. But, like, think about it. Like, the Niners believe themselves to be ready, right? And have for a long time. Tweet from David Hellman of Fox Sports. He said, I'd guess like 27 NFL teams would gladly sign up for San Francisco's run over the last decade. But, man, what a special hell. 7 trips to the NFC title game, 3-4 in those games. And of the 3 they've won, no Super Bowls. 0-3 in the last game of the year by a combined 17 points. I mean, so, you know what I'm saying? Like, if the butterfly lands, 5 different times, like, their fate is very different. But, like, my point is, like, San Francisco has believed that they were a contending team for a decade, and they have nothing to show for it. So, like, this grandmaster plan that you might believe or think that you're cooking up, Spurs, it still probably is not enough, because that's the way sports work. It is so impossible to be good.
The 49ers have their own special kind of hell. So do the Dallas Cowboys. It's a different hell, but it's still hell. They wave goodbye to another assistant coach as the Seattle Seahawks swept up a dude that we thought might have a better job. We're going to talk about those Dallas Cowboys coming up. Where are they going? What are they doing? We got reports from Ian Rappaport. We're going to talk about players and all that's coming as the Cowboys full face forward into the 24-25 season. It begins anew today. We're talking Dallas Cowboys next, because that's what we do. Of course, lots of Super Bowl talk as Pat Mahomes is wearing the crown, and he's in the limo now. Is he riding with the GOAT, or has he got his own? We'll talk about where Pat Mahomes is going. But first of all, let's get into those Cowboys. His name is Zerde, and he is gone. We'll be right back. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Over the past decade, the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the UFC fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch a game. The Roo Pub is next to the Angry Elephant and in the same plaza as the Big Blind. They're at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Do you ever feel hot spots or cold drafts around your home while watching your favorite team play? Your windows may be to blame. Call Maverick Windows today at 800-972-3631 and sign up for a free quote and get back in the end zone. That's 800-972-3631.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
When you're rolling Charmin, don't you soft on the party. Let's supposed to roll it back, everybody. Charmin's irresistibly soft and hella nice. The grip is always stocked. It's our party vibe. It's cushion and face so our drinks feel fine. So what? Every booty wanna touch the sky.
Charmin Ultra Soft is irresistibly soft and more absorbent, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
If your Medi-Cal is ending, Cover California is here to help. Cover California is a service from the state that helps you get affordable health insurance. In many cases, at no cost to you, just like with Medi-Cal. We have quality health plans and will help you every step of the way to get the one that works for you and your family. So if you're no longer eligible for Medi-Cal, check out Cover California. We'll keep you covered. Learn more at coveredca.com.
Get ready. This week, Staples has deals so good, you're going to want to sit down. Are you sitting? I'll wait. Great. Right now, during Staples Sit-a-thon, you can save up to $180 on select chairs. That's up to $180 off desk chairs, up to $180 off computer chairs, and up to $180 off gaming chairs. So hurry into Staples now for the Staples Sit-a-thon and grab a seat or two. Ends 3/2. In-store only. See associate for details.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass. Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just call 800-NEW-WINDOWS for your free consultation on top-quality, affordable windows or patio doors for $0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for a year. That's right. You don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Call 800-NEW-WINDOWS right now. Don't wait. Call 800-NEW-WINDOWS. 800-NEW-WINDOWS.
Coming up on the Blitz, it is a sad Monday. The football season is officially over. We've got a Super Bowl champion. We're going to react to all of that, and we're going to get you set for the Spurs as they continue their Rodeo Road Trip the rest of the NBA season. Will it get any better? Rob, RJ, got a great job in Vegas. It was a lot of fun.
Thanks, Joe. We did have a good time. Hope you followed us all the way through on the socials. We did indeed endeavor to bring you behind the scenes for 5 consecutive days in what is the belly of the beast, the media row that was there at the Mandalay Bay. Good time was had by all as we were celebrating the game of football. Dallas Cowboys never far away from the conversation, no matter where you go. Las Vegas, Dallas, San Antonio, it's always the same. Cowboys, the NFL Network are expected to sign Dak Prescott to a new deal before free agency. Prescott carries a cap hit of nearly $60 million in 2024, and the Cowboys would like more maneuverability. We've been talking about that for quite some time, but now it's time to decide what that next contract looks like. On top of that, they waved goodbye to defensive line coach Aiden Dirty, who over the weekend was hired by Seattle as their new defensive coordinator. Cowboys passed on him, decided to go to the AARP route and get themselves a guy named Zimmer. Mike McDonald, a younger coach, wanted a young defensive coordinator, and he got one. I think we're going to look back on this and regret it. I think Dirty
Zimmer
might be a
thing?
star. I think Dirty in particular. I hate when people are like, oh, you didn't hire him, we want him. I mean, he was gone quick.
He's such a great story with how he's, come across the pond and
I don't know anything about
rooting
him.
for.
I really don't.
Oh, dude, he is so unique. An NFL Europe dude. I mean,
Mhm.
just really, really interesting story, but not our guy anymore. You know
No,
what I mean? Happy
Mike
trails.
McDonald's.
I
But
mean,
what
best of
scared
luck.
me was at the moment Seattle could get him, they got him. And it was
true.
And they have a history of seeing defensive coordinators in a better light than the Cowboys do. But here they sit, Zimmer, McCarthy, and a decision with Dak.
So the Dak thing is, inevitable. I mean,
Mhm.
we've done our best to prepare people for this. Like, they have to alleviate salary cap space in some way, shape, or form. Okay. And what I'm about to say is going to sound like a defensive Dak Prescott. That's not the way I intended to sound. It's just an intent to look at things from a rational and objective perspective. At least
Okay.
what I believe to be.
This is no place for that, but go ahead.
So on Thursday night, Dak Prescott finished second in MVP voting, right? He is north of 30. He's, barely so. He's 30 years old, right? Be 31 when the season starts. He finished second in MVP voting, and he significantly outperformed the MVP winner in every major statistical category. That was Thursday night.
Right.
3 days later, we saw the most well-assembled, most forward-thinking offensive play caller, most well-assembled team led by the most, efficient offensive play caller in the NFL. We saw them lose to Patrick Mahomes. You have to understand that Patrick Mahomes is one of one. Nobody comes close to him, and he has proved to be inevitable. The 2022 Philadelphia Eagles, who Mahomes' Chiefs beat, were quite literally one of the best regular season teams of all time. Same goes for the San Francisco 49ers, literally one of the best teams that FTN Fantasy's DVOA metric tracks. They were literally one of the best teams in the history of DVOA, as were the Ravens, who the Chiefs just beat.
Explain again what DVOA is.
DVOA effectively or essentially measures the overall effectiveness and efficiency of a team and strips away non-contextual factors.
Like
so that
what? What would be a
grade
non-contextual factor? Because I quite frankly, I'm not sure I like this stat, but I'm with you.
The example they always use is like not all 3-yard runs are created equal.
Okay.
And it might not be 3 yards, but like
I
a
know what you're
3-yard
saying.
run on a 3-yard run on 4th and goal from the 3 is a very different 3-yard run than a 3-yard
and 10
run
at the
on
20.
1st and 10
Yeah.
from exactly. So like it applies necessary context and takes away unnecessary
All right,
context.
I'm with you. I buy this one.
So there's overall team DVOA, there's offensive DVOA, defensive, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, so 2023, which is what we're living in, Niners and Ravens, literally they're two of the very best teams in overall DVOA since it has been tracked and their database goes all the way back to 1981. And so that's a very large sample size. So my point is like Thanos is just beating all these great teams, right? Like, and you should not, make a rash decision because Thanos lives in your universe. And so, again, when you factor in the Dak was second in MVP voting, it certainly makes sense. It's not hard to say that bringing him back is a wise thing.
Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't.
It's hard. Again, I don't think it's outlandish. I
No,
think
you're
it's-
right.
In fact,
This is not a time for rational decision making. You can decision make yourself into the grave. You can make rational decisions all the way into bankruptcy. Now is not the time for rational decision making. Now is the time for considered risk.
Do you think the 49ers should fire Kyle Shanahan?
No, not yet.
Right.
No.
This isn't that, but this is a similar thing. Like,
But no,
you
we're
can't
past
just,
that
like,
with Dak. We're past that with Dak.
You can't. Brian Billick told it well to us last week.
I
You
agree.
cannot throw the baby out with the bathwater.
We
And
would
I'm
have
not
done
saying
that
Dak
last
is-
year. I think last year, if we'd have done it, we would have been throwing the baby out with the bathwater. And you know what? It worked. We brought him back, and we got MVP level play. But guess what? Even that's not enough. Not enough.
I mean, yeah, but it's not enough because you might just be Charles Barkley. You might just be
Dan Marino,
like one of
Matty Ice.
There's
a lot of them.
No, but I don't think those are as apt because there's a lot of Mahomes Jordan comparisons going on here. And I thought Kevin Clark of The Ringer put it really well. The only way I'm willing to walk down the Mahomes' Jordan line today is that he is making everyone around him feel relegated and insignificant. The way that Jordan did to, again, pick your legend, John Stockton, Karl Malone, Barkley, Ewing, pick whoever you want that did not win a title because Jordan existed. That's who, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson and Kyle Shanahan and Dak Prescott and Christian McCaffrey. That's who all these people are becoming. And so, I mean, you should not overreact to that. So it makes sense to try to do this again and to extend him and keep your window open. I'm not a fan of having your head coach and your quarterback on different timelines, which would be the case if Dak Prescott gets an extension.
True.
But you have to do something to alleviate salary cap space. So the Dak Prescott extension feels inevitable, which was obviously noted, as you mentioned, by NFL Network. The Mike Zimmer thing also feels inevitable, not technically official.
Not yet. You're right.
I want to ask you something, if you'll allow me.
I'm all.
Are you open?
I'm open. You might not get an answer, but I'm all about the question.
What did you think about the way Rex Ryan spoke about the Cowboys? Because he kind of said some same things that I just did. So for anyone who missed this, and big time shout out to Edwin the GOAT.
Yeah. Do we have it?
Rex Ryan was on Sunday NFL Countdown yesterday, obviously Super Bowl Sunday, and was obviously asked about his connection to the Cowboys defensive coordinator opening and explained why he was interested in the job.
But I will say this. The reason I was so I've been out for 7 years. I've never called another head coach or anything like that. I called Mike McCarthy. And the reason I did is because I want to be on this stage. I want to be back on this stage if I'm going to get back into coaching, have a chance at that. I think with this roster, the way it is, I think offensively, special teams, and defense, I figured I could make maybe even a little bit of an upgrade that they could be right here. That's why I was interested. It's funny how, should we get no, your team has no chance at me. Okay. That's generally the case. I would only go at the right situation. And if it's not completely right, then I'm not going. But this team, it is interesting because they are so close to getting over that edge. And that's why I think people would be interested in this job.
I'll tell you, I agree with what he said. But so are the 49ers, so close to getting over the edge. But there's one common denominator, an average quarterback, an average to good quarterback. That is the common denominator. I've over the last 5 years, I've been following offensive coordinators because I think there's this ever ongoing search to crack the code, to get around the desperate need to have a great quarterback, this ongoing search to find that guy. And if we could just find a coordinator who could put together some kind of offense that would balance average quarterback play with great peripheral play that would create this monolith of an offense, you can't do it. Kyle Shanahan can't do it. He's the best in the game. You can't on a regular basis win without a dude like Mahomes. And until you have that guy, you continue to search.
There isn't that guy. There isn't that guy.
No, not yet. But I've got to look. I got to keep swinging the hammer. I got to find the gold. Sitting with Purdy and sitting with Dak and sitting with Kirk Cousins and other 15 dudes, you have 1 foot in the grave when the season begins. You're already suffering because there is nobody else other than that, and everything has to be so freaking perfect to get there.
I think that's
it's a 25 years of two quarterbacks. No, 25 years of two quarterbacks, dude. Two for 25
years.
Okay. When did Brady hit the scene? 22 years? I'm talking about 25 years have been dominated by two quarterbacks.
So then Dak Prescott's greatest crime is that he's not Tom Brady. Or
Yes,
Patrick
that's
Mahomes.
every other quarterback's greatest crime. True. It's true. 25 years have been dominated by two quarterbacks. You're deluding yourself if you can put together something for any period of time. Now, you might get lightning in a bottle. You might get a year of it. But there's Mahomes. He's too much. Go find something to fight him with. Purdy ain't enough. Dak's not enough.
Should the Ravens move on from Lamar Jackson? Should the Bills move on from
They're
Josh
as
Allen?
close as you can get. They're as close as you can get. But I'm saying
that's what Dak is.
Barely average.
like,
No. Allen gets another year. Barely average ain't good enough. You get 3 years. You got to go. The search is ongoing.
Lamar has 2 MVPs,
I
and
agree.
in the seasons he won them both. Patrick Mahomes won the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like
we're biding our time till he's gone. It's Jordan.
Yeah, he's just it's his world, and we're all just
so why
pay
$250 million to a quarterback that I know will never beat him?
The number. I'm already pre-annoyed at this. The number is not a big
No, I'm
deal.
talking about Lamar's 250. I'm talking about the guy that really gets it.
But even then, like people act like, oh man, like people right now are like, oh, Dak makes $40 million a year. It's all relative to context. I mean, like the 57 or whatever $1 million that Dak is going to make if he does get an extension that is on par with the quarterback contracts in the NFL. It's the same relative to the salary cap that his $40 million was. Like, you're going to freak out because the number is going to be significantly larger, but the number is significantly larger because the salary cap is bigger, because over 100 million people tuned in to watch the Super Bowl. Like, that's the way that this works. Like, you just have to have a brain and be willing to follow all this logic.
Well, I want to have a team until Mahomes retires where my left tackle makes more than my quarterback. I want to have a team where my best edge rusher makes more than my quarterback.
Well,
until I have a guy that looks like Mahomes, looks like Lamar Jackson.
Like, they had that with Dak, and they didn't capitalize on it.
Right.
They had Dak on the cheapest rookie contract ever.
So it's time to rip it off. It's over.
No, but if they didn't do it then. Like when they had the quarterback making peanuts, they weren't aggressive in other aspects and elements of team building. Right. So why do you trust them to do that now? When they didn't
that's
do
all
it,
I've got to do. Because I know this formula isn't going to work.
You're just give me door number 3, the unknown. Just give me.
I have to, because there is no other answer.
Reckless.
I am reckless. I got to deal with Pat Mahomes for the next decade.
You don't have to deal with him. Not in the NFC.
If the ring's the thing, I got to deal with Mahomes.
Well, I mean,
at the end of the day, that's the goal.
You would think that maybe at some point he wouldn't make it back there, but I mean, I get your point.
Well, I mean, look, Philly, 49ers,
If you're this passionate about Dak, I expect you to throw to a full-on diatribe about Mike Zimmer, because if Dak has got your blood boiling this way, that the Cowboys are just phoning up their buddy, you know what I mean, like to come be their defensive coordinator. And that so many Cowboys fans are coping themselves into like, oh no, this is great, Art. You're just hating this. This makes a lot of sense. Like blah blah blah. No, like I mean, this is just nepotism in the NFL. That's all this is. This is we know Mike. He's good. I mean, he's free. You know what I mean? Like we've already he's already in the system. You know what I mean? We just we turn his job status to active as opposed to, in the past. And so if there's a cause, that is worth having your feathers ruffled over, it's this one.
Every now and then you think you're pretty good looking until you stand next to somebody who really is. You think you're buttoned up and look tight. You're going out and you're like, man, this is as good as I can do. I'm looking pretty good. And you stand next to somebody and you're like, holy crap, I'm not even close.
Where's this going?
You come to that realization. Last night, if you think your quarterback is good in comparison to what we saw last night, put them together. There's just nothing out there like Pat Mahomes. Let's put him in comparison with those that have been in this rare air. He's a GOAT, but how much of a GOAT is he? Let's compare him to others that have gone this far this soon. The numbers are utterly astounding. It is amazing to live in these times. We saw greatness unveiled and prolonged. We'll talk about where it sits in the GOATness. His name is Mahomes. Do we call him the king? That's next. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, the football season is over. That's horrible.
Don't be sad.
I'm sad.
We had a great Super Bowl. And as I told you, Ryan Eagle, don't bet against Patrick Mahomes.
Brock.
Yeah, another beer bet lost by Joe Ryan Eagle. The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
With your choice of select sandwich, nugs, fries, and a drink, Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag is your go-to. Your nugget wingman. Your hot and crispy fried co-pilot.
Just like us. We're like the bag boys.
What?
Bag boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when we bring your food?
For a deal you can count on, bet on Biggie and choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
Bag boys.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Includes choice of JBC or crispy chicken sandwich with 4-piece nugs, junior fry, and small soft drink. Third-party delivery pricing may be higher.
Joe Reinagle here. I want to tell you about something that has completely changed my life. I had vision correction surgery at Parkhurst New Vision. The results are amazing. The readers are a thing of the past. Hey, if you're like me and tired of those glasses, call Parkhurst New Vision at 210-585-2020. They offer a variety of services like vision correction surgery. So call Parkhurst New Vision, 210-585-2020, or get them online at sanantoniolasik.com.
God, I'm so stressed. It's a brand new year and our business is busier than ever.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
This is Rob Thompson. I'm here with my brother, Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com.
I'm a lawyer for you. I've helped you.
Yes, he has, and many others here in San Antonio. And that's why I'm so glad I get a chance to talk to you today about what happens when you get into an accident.
It's overwhelming for everybody involved. You have this paralysis of what to do next, who to talk to, how do you get medical care, or you're in the hospital and who's going to pay for this? It's this swirl of anxiety, and many times it's even worse than the injury itself. You have to help people through that situation. And I tell every client the same thing. Don't worry. I've got this. I will take care of this. Just worry about your family. Just worry about getting healthy. If I can do that for you and maximize your recovery, you stay in business, you keep clients. And for 30 years, I've kept every client I've ever had. I don't lose clients. I represent their family and friends because that's how seriously I take my job.
A lawyerforus.com. You can find him at 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com.
What's wrong, Cupid?
Chris, I've lost my mojo. These arrows just don't work like they used to. The facts are people fall in love thanks to Connecticut, not poor old Cupid.
You don't say.
Oh, absolutely. Look over there. She's got silky smooth hair thanks to a Connecticut water softener. He's got softer skin and cleaner clothes, and now they're all lovey-dovey. Makes me sick.
Don't feel bad, Cupid. You still have your bow and arrow.
I'll rub it in, Chris. I know a Connecticut runs on kinetic energy like my bow and arrow. There's no computer to break. A Connecticut has it all.
This is Chris Canepa with Connecticut and San Antonio in the Hill Country. There's a reason people love their Connecticut. Right now, I'll let you try one for 90 days, absolutely free with no contract. Just call 656-PURE.
You know, you're right, Chris. I love my Connecticut, too. My diaper has never looked so white. And my wings, oh, I look good.
Cupid, you can always come to work for me.
You serious, Chris?
But you're going to have to wear pants.
ConnecticutSA.com.
Hey, it's Jim Rome, and it's great to be back in San Antonio. Join me weekdays at noon on my new home, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is San Antonio Sports Star. He's RJ Ochoa, the managing editor of Blogging the Boys. I'm Rob Thompson. We're glad you're with us this morning. If you grilled something spectacular over the weekend, hope you took a picture of it. You could earn some fine quality credits. How about a $50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market? All you got to do is upload a picture at sasportstar.com on the contest page. And you, too, could be visiting Tri-County with a $50 gift card in hand. I sense a giant Wagyu steak in your future if you win. So if you did grill something, barbecue something, whatever it might be, upload a picture at sasportstar.com. And on Thursday, right at 6 o'clock, Jason and Joe will judge your meat. And they're kind when they judge meat.
That's true.
You could walk away.
They're not kind at any other time.
I hope everybody
kind at that moment.
Did anybody hung out with James yesterday at Twin Peaks? Looked like a good time was had by all. Looked like he had a lot of swag to give away. The Blitz is going to hit the road this week. We'll be out at the Rue Pub, 281 in Redland, between the Big Blind and the Angry Elephant to get ready for the NBA All-Star Weekend. Jason and Joe will be out there with some great prizes. It's Friday, 281 in Redland. Seems like a long way away from me right now. Pat Mahomes is about to ride the rocket that we rarely see. It's been sooner than later since we've seen it. It's funny to watch Tom Brady make commercials. He was in 2 or 3 of them last night. He's not allowed to bet with MGM. He's in a band with Benifer. And I think I saw him in another one. Tom Brady was all over the place. He's absolutely a former player, but not so far gone it doesn't matter. And Pat Mahomes has already lapped him, it feels like.
It's weird how, we got an MJ LeBron debate so quickly in the NFL. It felt like the Brady Montana debate lasted a long time. And, here we are. I comes at you fast.
I think that Mahomes is even Steven. I'm not sure he's past Brady. There's more to do, more records to be passed. But man, oh man, I ain't never seen anything like that. Hey, let's look at the game. The Chiefs reigned triumphant, but how did they get there? Was it a great game or just a good finish? You're on 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star.
$94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Gabby.
Hey, Gabby. It's Jennifer Coolidge. Hi. I'm so glad I reached you at 2 a.m.
Oh, of course. Anyone with a Discover card can call and talk to a real person 24/7. Now, how can I help?
Yeah, I used my Discover card to buy these yellow pleather pajamas, and I'm just not sure I'm pulling them off.
24/7 U.S.-based customer service. It pays to Discover. Limitations apply. Learn more at discover.com/creditcard.
Hey, everyone. It's Joe Montana. Spreading the word about pneumococcal pneumonia, a potentially serious bacterial lung disease that can be life-threatening. If you're 65 or older like me, you're at increased risk. So, what's the game plan? A strong defense. Pneumococcal pneumonia can strike at any time in any season, so you shouldn't wait to help protect yourself. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist about vaccination today and learn more at knowpneumonia.com. That's KNOW pneumonia.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Here in San Antonio, if our football teams aren't winning, we make changes. So if you're losing against your non-energy efficient windows, call Maverick Windows at 800-972-3631 and get a free quote for new energy efficient windows. That's 800-972-3631.
Without the ones like you who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This year, Dell Technologies wants to help you do amazing things with their best tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 13 Plus, powered by Intel Core processors, and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology to match your forward-thinking spirit and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline, 800-262-2917. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-262-2917 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. That's 800-262-2917. For your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-262-2917.
Are you tired of going to the dentist over and over again? Hi, I'm Dr. Andrew Mueller, Chief Oral Surgeon at Doctor's Implants.
We have put a lot of money into fixing my teeth over and over and over again, a filling or a crown or a this or that.
At Doctor's Implants, replacing your teeth with full mouth dental implants might be the long-term solution you're looking for.
The 6-Hour Smile is a permanent full mouth teeth replacement. Your new smile will be custom designed to fit your face and lifestyle and will look and function just like regular teeth. You won't need to remove them from your mouth overnight, and you won't need adhesive to keep them in place. Eat freely and smile confidently again. Research them at doctorsimplants.com. Receive a complimentary doctor's consultation and CT scan when you call 210-640-0000. Again, that's 210-640-0000.
Home of the 6-Hour Smile.
This is Jim Rome. Have a take, don't suck on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
In the NFL, the reigning champ is still the reigning champ. The Kansas City Chiefs took 5 quarters to do it, but they take down the 49ers 25-22. Pat Mahomes, your Super Bowl MVP. The Dallas Cowboys wave goodbye to defensive line coach Aiden Durde. He's now the new defensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks under new head coach Mike McDonald. And the Spurs getting ready for Toronto. They're 0-3 on the road.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Wembanyama goes behind the back here. Oh, little sidestep and a jam by Wembanyama.
It's knocked away by Wembanyama.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. With Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here's Rob and RJ.
Hey, huddle up. We got something to talk about. Welcome to Monday. It's the Morning Huddle. That is RJ Ochoa. I'm Rob Thompson. We're glad you're with us on a fine, blustery morning here in the Central South Texas. As RJ and I returned very recently from Las Vegas, the water-soaked and inclement weather-ridden city that the day we leave becomes spectacular. The weather on Saturdays and Sunday, boy, it made that Super Bowl look good with all those drones flying around yesterday. Pretty optics for a Super Bowl that was unlike any other.
It was unique in that it was in Las Vegas. Jim Nantz did his best to let us know with lots of gambling innuendos.
You remember when Musburger used to get in trouble for that crap?
Oh, dude. I mean, even things saying like, some people will be happy with this score, whatever, was like way too close to the sun. Then you got Jim Nantz shouting out squares at the end of the first quarter.
Nice. Hey, we're in, man. We're all in. Well, at least we own it. We being the American people.
The future.
Gambling is here. It was bad, and now it's good, and we'll treat it as such. With that in mind,
now the fire hose of money is coming in. That's what this is.
And it's such a strange environment to be in, because while the NFL has accepted it fully, and I think the rest of the country certainly has, if you watch any of the commercials, lots of gambling commercials, but it's still, the laws are so odd in that the games that I can play here, my Prize Picks, which I got eaten up yesterday on Prize Picks. Didn't have a great day. But the numbers didn't bear out a lot of the over-unders. But I couldn't do it in Vegas. I don't understand the rules. Well, I'm in the place I'm supposed to be able to do whatever I want. There's so many things you can do in Vegas, but I can't do my Prize Picks app. It just didn't make any sense.
I landed in Vegas before y'all and was super excited to fire up this, that, and the third. And I fired up DraftKings, fired up FanDuel, fired up ESPN Bet, I even downloaded MGM and, checking them all out. You can't do it. You can't bet digitally in Vegas.
It is the strangest world we live in.
They keep it to where you got to go to the physical sports book. I mean, that's how the city was built.
And I'm not mad at them, but it just seems as a guy coming in from Texas where nothing is legal, and I get there, and the one thing that I think would be available all the time, I can't even do. But that just kind of epitomized the weekend as the NFL had to embrace yet push away the very idea of what gambling is and what it'll be. But on top of that.
Well, on the subject of gambling, opening odds for an extra Super Bowl are out. Who do you think's the favorite?
Chiefs.
Nope.
Really? Did they think because they're going to leave? So 49ers, or is it Baltimore?
No, 49ers plus 550. 49ers, Chiefs, Ravens, Bills. 4 AFC teams at the very top. The higher, or the best odds, whatever. For an NFC team, the Detroit Lions at plus 1,200. Then you got the Bengals at plus 1,300 with Joe Burrow coming back. The Dolphins plus 1,700. The Eagles, Packers, and Cowboys all come in at plus 2,000. Your Houston Texans at plus 2,200, and the Jets and Chargers round out the top at plus 2,500.
Early money. Kansas City Chief fan was out partying. They'll move that line.
Dude. I mean, what a time! Imagine being a Kansas Cityan. I mean,
well, as a Spurs fan, I can identify. I really can't.
That's true.
I mean, there's nothing.
That's true. Yeah.
Kansas City is so much like San Antonio in that this isn't it's a tough term, but it's true. Flyover country. It's Kansas City. You go to Kansas City because you know somebody. You don't go there for fun. You go to San Antonio because you know somebody. A little bit of fun, but I mean, we're not that. And you build this identity about the success of your team that matters so much to the community. I get it for Kansas City. Enjoy the ride, baby. Ain't nothing like it. And it ain't ended anytime soon, it appears. Because as Mahomes goes, he just won his 3rd Super Bowl MVP. He did it in 7 years sooner than the other 2 that have won 3. It's he, Joe Montana, and Tom Brady as far as winning 3 and the time. Let me get this right. Mahomes won his 3rd Super Bowl, joining Brady and Montana 5 and 3 respectively. The only players to win 3 or more Super Bowl MVPs. Went from a cross-sport perspective, only 9 players have ever done it. So he's in there with Jordan and LeBron and Duncan and Magic and Shaq, Patrick Waugh in the NHL. Notice I got Raw and not Roy. And of course, Brady and Montana. He's there. He's in the GOAT. By the company you keep, that is who you're known by. And he is in the room with the greatest to ever lace up any kind of shoe, cleat, or skate.
He trails Brady up for obvious reasons, right? I mean, from a accomplishment standpoint, but I think we all think he's got a chance to top him. I mean, dude, like, he's lost an AFC championship game. He's lost a Super Bowl. And I mean, still is at this place on top of all that. It's unfair. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's impossible. I mean, it really is.
Does this affect the way that you plan your team, even though you're in an NFC, in a conference, in a division? You might not even see Pat Mahomes for 4 years. But don't I have to plan just in case I got to be able to beat Pat Mahomes in the Super Bowl? I mean, isn't everything I do now trying to figure out a way just to get past Mahomes once I figured out how to win, But at the end of the day, everything I do has to be to beat him.
I think we're at a point where it's like the Niners had the talent. They had the roster. Nick Bosa played so well.
Yeah.
Fred Warner played so well. I mean, like, they had the talent. It's just their greatest thing failed them. Kyle Shanahan failed the Niners on Sunday. And it's at a place where, and Romo talked about this amid a number of things, but I mean, and it's been said before, we've talked about it, but like, you're now fighting, something that isn't tangible with Mahomes. You simply are fighting a legend, and that causes you to do stupid things the way it did with Kyle Shanahan. You have to turn on your blinders and your tunnel vision when it comes to playing this dude, because he's going to force you because you overthink it into doing something silly. And we saw that with Kyle Shanahan. I mean, he opened the door and Mahomes stormed right in, and the Niners and their whole fan base are really, really, really displeased as a result of it all.
The Kansas City Chiefs, as they get into the offseason, their free agent situation, I think, is primarily Chris Jones.
I think they let him walk, though.
I mean, think he's going to leave, too.
There's no way that they're – dude, they traded Tyreek Hill and have won back-to-back Super Bowls. Like, think about how stupid that is. Like, think about how impossible it is that they traded perhaps the best, most dynamic wide receiver in the NFL and have literally only won the Super Bowl in the 2 seasons since. And they beat his team on the path to winning the second one. It's crazy. It doesn't make so. Yeah. Oh no, Chris Jones is going to hit free agency. How will we ever recover? Granted, Chris Jones was great in this game. The Chiefs defense was, and that's where like Mahomes gets all the credit, and that's just the way this whole thing goes. But the Chiefs defense was remarkable. I mean, the Chiefs defense is, really what kept this, and that's why it was such a boring game. I mean, that they kept this team, this Niners team, contained. They didn't let them really get much. The only big play that happened against them was that trick play, the Juwan Jennings touchdown to Christian McCaffrey that kind of caught them, on their back foot.
When they were doing what Tony Romo was saying they needed to do to beat the Chiefs is take control, be the first one to swing, never react with Pat Mahomes, get ahead and do whatever you can and keep swinging for the fences, because he's like Jason. He is never dead. He is never dead until you see him decapitated, underground, everything else. He's still coming, and they let him come. We knew it was going to happen.
They set the table for him, dude. What are you talking about? They let him. They opened the door and set the table and said, "Sit down, man. We got something in the oven for you."
It's not scripted. It's not scripted. Let's run that commercial again. How on earth did we get to the end of the NFL season in overtime with 2 minutes to go, with Mahomes with the ball to go win the Super Bowl? You can't make this stuff up. You can't write it because it's real. That happened. Now,
what is the best moment of Mahomes' playoff Super Bowl career? There's too many. Like, you can't even pick just one.
Because I don't think it happened last night. Honestly, I don't think he had one of those moments when we look back on the greatness of his career where you go, that was it. He threw a couple of dimes, but the best completed pass all night was from a wide receiver. You know what I mean?
He had the dime to right before the Pacheco fumble.
He threw some dimes.
And so, man, they're seeing
but
the
let's
highlights
move
of
on.
Niners players.
Greatness is not just his. Travis Kelce turned 35 this year, has 984 receiving yards. Could have gotten 1,000, chose not to finish out the season and make that catch. Remember that story if you watched all day yesterday. 907 receiving yards, 4th all-time among tight ends and 2nd most in Chief history, only to Tony Gonzalez. 11,328 receiving yards, 4th all-time tight end, most in Chiefs history, going past that guy. 74 reception or receiving TDs, 2nd most in Chiefs history. I would have thought last week that it might be over. His body's about done, but I think they're all in on this one more run. I think even Chris Jones might take a little bit less money for one more run.
Well, so they're the three. They're the 3 players. Obviously, Andy Reid's been there, but they're the 3 that have been around for the whole run. They're the kind of face. When the documentary happens, you know what I mean, in 20 years, they are the 3 who will kind of narrate it. And you're right. Like, there's something to, like, so Mahomes is a Hall of Famer. Kelsey's a Hall of Famer. Kelsey is like the 2nd greatest tight end of all time at this point behind Gronk, and has a chance to supplant him if he can get a 4th. And that's, it's a team sport, but when you lay out accomplishments like that 4th ring goes a long way. I mean, I'm not saying that they're not, valued players or anything like that, but it's why we regard, not that it's 4, but why we regard Manu and Tony in certain breaths, because when you pick up those titles, like, it goes a long way. And when you do them as a nucleus, right? Like, we refer to them as the big 3 here. And so if you're Chris Jones, you get that 4th one, like, you're kind of a fringe Hall of Famer, you get that 4th, you're in. You know what I mean? Like, it's and that changes your life. And I mean, it really does. And so, and now if you're DeAndre Hopkins, if you're whoever, you're Mike Evans, you're like, hell yeah, I want to go be a part of that. I want to go get that one with them because it's kind of a guaranteed thing. And I think the Chiefs have been a little bit guilty of playing with their food a little bit in the regular season, and because they're opposed to, they're going to be there every year. Like, how can they get up for, an early November matchup against the Tennessee Titans? You know what I mean? Like, when they do what they do. And so, like, I think we'll see the same thing, and people will try to write them off, but when the playoffs come, they turn it on. and they're a different team. And how can you doubt them at this point in time? But to your point, they now have a carrot to chase. They did the thing. They went back to back. Nobody had done that in almost 20 years. Nobody has ever done 3 in a row. So you can now not only go get the 4th and cement yourselves as Hall of Famers, but you can achieve something that has literally never been done ever in the over 100-year history of the NFL.
Andy Reid, he's the 5th head coach to win 3 Super Bowls. He could reach that rare air 3 in a row. He would still be behind Belichick, who has 6, Chuck Noll, who has 4, and Walsh, and he is tied with Bill Walsh and Joe Gibbs. But they were talking about it after when they won. You can't get to 3 until you win the 2. I mean, I heard a couple of guys say it. I heard Kelsey say that, and I do think I heard Reid say it in some postgame. We can't get 3 unless you won the 2. So I think there's already the discussion, like, we're all in for one more run. Because I it would be easy for Reid to retire right now.
People thought he retired after they won the first one. And he was, and at the time, I thought he would too. He was like, are you crazy? He was like, and imagine if he had, he'd be sick. You know what I mean? He'd be sick looking at this. And I just think, like, man, how if you're a Chargers fan, like, how can you tell yourself, like, oh, well, we got Jim Harbaugh, like, we're putting a stop to this. Like, you just can't, like, I mean, it's just, how can you possibly feel good about anything with these guys around? Like, it's crazy to think about.
Your mother might say you're a late bloomer. People might tell, you just give it time. All the pieces will come together. He's the epitome of that. All 3 of his Super Bowl titles have come since he turned 60 years old. He's the 4th head coach in NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB history with 3 championships at the age of 60 or older, joining Casey Stengel, Bill Belichick, and Scotty Bowman of the NHL. Greatness can still come no matter where you are in life. He's 60. He finally got him. We got more to talk about with the game itself. It was a good game with a great finish. I'm not sure it's going to go down in the annals of NFL history as one of those that we'll never forget, because we have seen more and more overtime games over the last couple of years, but it was worthy of extraordinary merit, and we're going to continue talking about it. But coming back, we do have some Dallas Cowboy talk coming your way. Micah Parsons has some things to say on podcasts, and CeeDee Lamb, the Cowboys talk around the corner. And what do we think about the state of the Cowboys and Mike Zimmer, who still doesn't have a contract? We're talking about that next. And what'd you think of Ursher? Ursher on skates. Ursher with others. Ursher at halftime. We're talking about all that we saw. Hang around. We do want to hear from you. Sound off like you got a pair. 656-377-6656 ESPN. Type like they're wind. Either way, we're talking Cowboys next. This is San Antonio Sports Star, and you're on the Morning Huddle.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas, with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass? Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just call 800-721-9205 for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Call 800-721-9205 right now. Don't wait. Call 800-721-9205. 800-721-9205.
This is Rob Thompson. I'm here with my brother, Jason, a practicing attorney in San Antonio for 30 years. Jason, what does that mean?
What it means is I've been representing people and families here in San Antonio injured in auto, truck, motorcycle collisions, serious injury, death accidents, taking those families and helping them through some of the worst times of their life. I've been practicing law in San Antonio for so long. I remember when the Cowboys were champions.
Seriously.
And a great staff that handles kind of the blocking and tackling of what it takes to represent clients. There are so many phone calls that need to be made, so many connections you have to have between insurance companies, physicians, opposing lawyers, relationships that you build over 30 years with adjusters, with insurance companies, with defense attorneys, with local judges. When I represent a client, they know that I'm lending my name, my reputation built on 30 years of experience to that client to get them justice.
It's Jason Thompson, alawyer4us.com. Call him at 210-900-0400, alawyer4us.com.
Sick and tired of achy joints? Dread the idea of surgery? You need to call QC Kinetics today. Hey, it's James Spudger with San Antonio Sports Star. Listen, the state of healthcare is always changing. The old ideas like steroids and surgery are no longer your only options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative and non-surgical drug-free treatments that deliver lasting results. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, pain from arthritis or injury. Don't let this pain keep you from living your best life. QC Kinetics' advanced state-of-the-art treatments harness and direct your body's natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. This is a revolutionary approach that can get you long-term relief with no downtime. Make 2024 the year you reclaim your mobility, reclaim your independence, walk, run, play, and live without the danger and trauma of surgery and without harmful drugs. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
Howdy, San Antonio. This is Andrew Monaco, and you're locked on the home of the Aggies, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Thanks, Andrew. It's the Morning Huddle. Gather around. We got stuff to talk about. He's RJ Ochoa. What's on the? You have a is that Paddington Bear on your hoodie?
This is it's Ralph Lauren and it's Polo Bear. It's like they
I reckon I could only see his from the neck up.
Yeah, they have a line of clothing and they put the bear on there with different outfits or whatever. I used to have like 5 shirts and when I would go out I had names for them and stuff, and
I thought
it was really clever. Well, I never named this one, but this is from the Ryder Cup. My parents went a few years ago and it was there, but I can't remember. I had like 4 shirts and one of them was named Barnabas. I don't know where the shirts are these days, but so RIP to Barnabas.
You don't have like Barnabas was like the go-to shirt first out of the laundry.
I mean, it was like, okay, we're here to dominate the night, type of thing. Like
first
that was one of the shirts. Yeah. That was first front of the closet type shirt for sure.
Yes,
better hanger.
First to get it done. I'm pretty proud of myself. I've already got all my laundry done from. Have you gotten all your laundry done? Are you back?
Oh, it was done.
I'm pretty
done on Saturday.
I'm awful about that stuff. Because my wife used to do it for me. I used to come home and my suitcase would be there and she would just get tired of looking at it and then unpack it and do all the laundry. That doesn't happen anymore. So if I don't do it, it just gets stuck. So
Did you already iron it all?
No, but the laundry is well on the way. I realized that I have a lot less underwear than I thought I did.
Well, I mean,
I never really keep a count until you run out. Did you do any laundry while we were there?
No, but are you the kind of person who, when you get back from a trip like this, you just wash everything, or do you only wash what you did?
No, I wore everything, but I wash everything because when I come back, it looks like I was running from, say, a government takeover. Like I'm just throwing stuff in bags and getting the hell out. I didn't pack. I just crammed it into bags and hoped that either one of them was underweight, because if I opened either one of them or tried, they were going to explode open because I was sitting on either one. So.
I'm usually pretty organized when it comes to, like, I'll even fold my dirty clothes and stuff and kind of pack the suitcase the right way. But I mean, we talked a lot about how tired we were. It was just a shove in, and I hadn't told any of y'all this yet, but on my flight home, I had never had this happen to me before. We were delayed on the runway. I mean, sometimes you get delayed because whatever, but this exact reasoning, they did not have the safety equipment to demonstrate. Like, you know how they have they
didn't have like the fake life vest and the little tube with the cup.
They didn't have that. And they were like, we know this sounds silly, but it's protocol for us to go through the demonstration, and we don't have it.
Well, where the hell would it go?
Well, that was my question, and nobody answered it because I was thinking, like, well, the plane just landed here from somewhere else. Like, you seemingly had it on board.
You guys
like,
all
it
have
didn't
your
fall
own
out.
personal.
I mean, yeah, like maybe you're right. Maybe it belonged to that, like those flight attendants, and they left to go somewhere else, and the flight attendants on our plane didn't have it. But I had never had a flight delayed for that exact reason.
No,
So we
that's
waited
goofy.
like 30 minutes.
Yeah. How was the flight out? Was it full?
Oh yeah, and you could just tell everyone was like, "I'm getting out of here."
So Saturday was a ghost town. There were well over 100 seats on our flight out of Vegas to San Antonio. I haven't been on a plane that empty in 6 years. There was nobody. Everybody got their own row. Flying out of Vegas about 1 o'clock on Saturday afternoon.
Did you eat anything in the airport? Because I fled on Friday. I had a big old bowl of payway.
We went past the payway and had bad Mexican food. Las Vegas. In fact, we had Mexican food at the place, and I asked for barbacoa, and she goes, "Do you want it Mexican style or white style?" And I was like, "I'm really interested to know what white style is." And white style barbacoa in Las Vegas includes sour cream. Mexican style barbacoa includes onions. That's the primary difference.
The best meal I had in Vegas was that burrito.
We had a Saturday night or a Friday night after you departed to go home to the friends and family, as a good man should. We went down to Jason, Joe, and I. We met the Brits downtown.
I saw you and Will in a photo.
Yes, yeah. Will. Will worked for Talk Sport Britain, and he did the play-by-play for the British broadcast back. We met these guys.
He's a Niners fan, so he's a true pro. Yeah.
I'm glad he had the Friday night that he did, because I don't think he's celebrating quite the same after that. We had a good time. It was a late night down on, for those who've spent any time on Fremont and gone to the El Cortez, there was something strange afoot. We had a good evening. I'll let the guys regale you with anything else, because what happens there stays there. But it was a interesting night. I wish you'd have been there. We went to the Cowboys lounge thing.
I saw all the photos as I was working on laundry.
It wasn't. I mean, it was cool. I mean, it's a nice place, but there was no there. It was free drinks.
Dak wasn't there.
Well, I'm a little surly about it, because we got there and, it's ritzy, it's fancy. Everybody's kind of dressed up, and they had a jazz quartet playing back in the corner. This is like on the 66th floor of the Resorts World. Nice. Go look at our pictures on the socials. Ritzy place. And they had this jazz quartet kind of playing back in the corner, and you could hear him playing, but I wasn't really paying attention. And I was kind of standing around talking to this guy, and I turned to my right, and there is the guy going full Ron Burgundy right beside me, but not with a flute, but with one of those weird looking electric fiddles that's just kind of like a stick. It doesn't look like a fiddle, but it's like the skeleton of a fiddle.
Like the guy in Yellow Card.
Exactly. And this guy is wailing on it. And if you're watching the video, I'm glad you are. If you're not, you're missing out. I mean, he is like, you know how fiddles go. Well, he's like leaning into it right beside me. But because it's an electric violin, I couldn't hear anything. It was coming out of the speaker on the other side of the building, other side of the room. So I didn't know if this cat was playing or practicing. I couldn't tell what was going on, because I could hear the jazz in the background. I didn't know it was live.
Yeah, it's just like, it's kind of like when
Weird
somebody's
looking.
like going off on a electric drum set. It doesn't look as cool, man. Like, I know what it sounds like. It just, there's on the subject of music, I guess. What did you think of Usher?
Usher was everything
Incredible.
Usher could be and nothing more. I mean, he's not a stadium rock band.
He
No,
kicked ass.
Usher
He
did.
kicked ass.
But anybody who expected U2 stadium rock band stuff, you're not going to get that from Usher. This was club dance music. That's what he was, and he was the best at it for about 6 years. And we got all of that. It was great. But for those who are going, well, it really didn't move me. Well, no. Usher is not a lighter on the 18th row of section 97 in the back of the concert kind of show. That's not what you're going to get with Usher. So he did everything he could.
You're going to get a showman.
Yes.
And he was dancing and gliding and popping and locking, and he was loving in this clubbing and confessioning and burning, and you got it batting and yang.
He was dressed like the Cobra. The Cobra from
that they saved for last was, or I guess like the penultimate song was I guess, understandable. But yeah, it didn't really hit for me. Like I thought yeah was going to dominate, and be like the most memorable part of the performance because we all knew it was going to happen.
Because we knew,
but it really wasn't. The best part was the transition from Confessions to Burn to You Got It Bad. That was like,
was that the wardrobe
holy
change?
Crap, like, oh wait, what?
Which wardrobe change was that? Because he would just be in different clothes. I don't know how he did it.
I think it was before the blue clothes, but
before
also
he was part of the Cobra Gym.
But so first of all, the Alicia Keys thing. The main thought I had at the beginning was, where does this red piano?
What was that?
Live? Well, it was a piano, but I thought like, where is this piano like all the time? You know,
I don't know.
Like,
it looked like a melted candle.
Who holds this piano in their home or whatever? Like, under what circumstances does this piano make sense other than where it is right now? But whatever. So she comes out and she's going off, and then for them to sing "My Boo" was just incredible. Are you aware of why that music video is famous?
Other than because it was good, I don't know.
I forget who it is. They have a phone, and they're like upset because again, I forget the exact theme of the music video, but I guess Usher's not into them. And they have a phone. It's one of those old sidekicks. Remember, like back in the day?
I'm very aware. Yep.
And they're looking at a text message, and I'll send you this right now. The screenshot that's like, oh, my heart is broken or whatever, is literally Microsoft Excel. Like that's the screenshot. It's not like a text message. It's literally Microsoft Excel. So I don't know how that happened at that point in time, but that's why that music video is famous. But that song is really famous, and so to get that was great, and then to go Confessions, Burn, You Got It Bad, it just slapped. And if you think it sucks, then I think you suck because it was awesome. It was an incredible throwback.
It was much like the game. It was really, really good, but it wasn't great. But it wasn't great. It was really, really good, but it wasn't one of the greats. We've had several over the last couple of years that I think we could quantify as better. Now, we got different outcomes. We got the beginning of a dynasty, which I guess is really what will, at the end of the day, why we remember this. And I say beginning. I think you put it best, confirmation that they walked into immortality, though they were living pretty good ahead of time.
I'm looking at the Kelly Rowland thing. That's whose phone it was in the music video. Where are you at? Holla when you get there. Written in Microsoft Excel.
Hey, coming back. Go ahead.
The Chiefs are hollering from a dynasty.
Hollering is right. Holler at us, 656-3776, 656-ESPN. If you can tell me who Interpol is, not the policing organization throughout the Europe, but the band. Do you know the band Interpol? RJ, this is one of the few times I literally have no idea who this is.
What an offensive question.
Do you know?
Yes.
Describe what Interpol is, because I got tickets.
I don't think anybody can. I mean, that's why somebody should go see them. It's a transformative sort of experience.
They're coming to the, is it really?
I mean, I've never seen them, but I would bet that it is.
Well,
it's not U2 with the Sphere, but it's,
It's called the Interpoleros.
Okay.
The Interpoleros tour. You an Interpolero, dude?
I guess so. Is that sour cream on your
That's the white. Do you like the white version of Interpolero? Because that comes with sour cream. Now, if you like the Mexican version, it comes with onions.
Oh, I think I got the music videos confused. Mickey points me out. But whatever. Either way, it's all relative. My boo still rock.
Well, coming back, if you're an Interpol fan, I'm going to have you some tickets. They're coming to our beautiful Techport Center in May. I got you tickets. And if I figure out they're better, we might have some more. Hold on tight. We got more to do as we look very closely at the Dallas Cowboys. We're awaiting a contract from Mike Zimmer as they wave goodbye to a defensive coordinator. What's next for the boys is next here. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The boys are back from Vegas.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
You heard the big game on Sunday, and the boys made it back thanks to AA Best Bail Bonds and presented by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds and Synergenics. Next year, it's off to the Big Easy on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
When was the last time you went to the dentist? Need a new dentist? Hi, Jason Minix here. Go see my dentist at Smile Structure Dentistry and Braces. Smile Structure can handle all your dentistry needs, from general dentistry to oral surgery, orthodontics for the kids, or Invisalign for adults. Mention this ad, get a free exam and x-rays. Veteran owned with 5 San Antonio area locations. Learn more and book an appointment online at smilestructure.com. That's smilestructure.com. Over the past decade, the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the UFC fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch a game. The Roo Pub is next to the Angry Elephant and in the same plaza as the Big Blind there at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
What's wrong, Cupid?
Chris, I've lost my mojo. These arrows just don't work like they used to. The facts are people fall in love thanks to Kinetico, not poor old Cupid.
You don't say.
Oh, absolutely. Look over there. She's got silky smooth hair thanks to a Kinetico water softener. He's got softer skin and cleaner clothes, and now they're all lovey-dovey. Makes me sick.
Don't feel bad, Cupid. You still have your bow and arrow.
Oh, rub it in, Chris. I know a Kinetico runs on kinetic energy like my bow and arrow. There's no computer to break. A Kinetico has it all.
This is Chris Canepa with Kinetico in San Antonio in the Hill Country. There's a reason people love their Kinetico. Right now, I'll let you try one for 90 days, absolutely free with no contract. Just call 656-PURE.
You know, you're right, Chris. I love my Kinetico, too. My diaper has never looked so white. And my wings, oh, I look good.
Cupid, you can always come to work for me.
You serious, Chris?
But you're going to have to wear pants.
KineticoSA.com.
God, I'm so stressed. It's a brand new year and our business is busier than ever.
Uma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Uma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Uma?
Yep. Switching to Uma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Uma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Uma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Uma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
Do you ever feel hot spots or cold drafts around your home while watching your favorite team play? Your windows may be to blame. Call Maverick Windows today at 800-972-3631 and sign up for a free quote and get back in the end zone. That's 800-972-3631.
Nothing says I love you like romantic, timeless jewelry. Even better when you can save an extra 20%. Right now at Diamonds Direct, all fashion favorite jewelry is 20% off. That's earrings, bracelets, pendants, bands, colored gemstone jewelry. Get 20% off Diamonds Direct's already unbeatable prices. Special financing too. Get her something she can enjoy and appreciate for years to come. A fashion favorite from Diamonds Direct. Shop in-store or online at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Good morning, everybody. Jason Minix here from the Blitz starting at 2 o'clock today. Of course, we're talking about the Super Bowl. All the reaction from what we saw on a Super Bowl Sunday. Stories from the week that we actually did survive in Las Vegas. Well, most of us did. RJ's boys barely made it. Although RJ did steal my Stanley Cup on his way out of town. Dude, you're going to have to mail that thing back to me.
He did not. See, this was recorded before we realized what had happened. Welcome back to the Morning Huddle. He's RJ Ochoa. Not a thief. I am, and didn't mean to be. I'm Rob Thompson. See behind us. See this right? Oh, you can't see because of the camera angle. This is what, if you're watching, this is why you watch our video. This is what RJ was accused of taking. And what had happened was on Thursday or Friday, as we were packing up for you to leave, this fell into a bag. I don't know how it got into my backpack, but it did. It was a bunch of under stuff. So I got back there after RJ had flown out of town, and the boys had already recorded a bunch of stuff because I had gone home to take a nap, and they were mad at RJ. RJ took this cup and yada yada. And I said, well, I told him he could take a cup. What's wrong? Well, we need it. It's a logo, and it is. It's Synergenics. They were wonderful. We had balls and stuff. Well, he hadn't taken it. I had. It was in my backpack. So I already apologized for you, and that was already in the can by the time that was done. So RJ's not a thief. I am. It's sitting right
So
here.
hold up. Wait a minute. I don't need you to apologize for me, Rob, because there's nothing.
No, I blamed you. So they wouldn't have blamed you. I blamed
Hold up. No, hold up. So
I did. I said it was RJ. It wasn't me.
I reject your apology because it was unnecessary. What I demand is an apology from Left Shoe.
Oh,
You know what
Left
I'm saying?
Shoe.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Left Shoe needs to apologize
But he
to
didn't
me.
know any better because I said it must have been RJ because it wasn't me.
What do you mean he didn't know any better? I have a record of integrity that spans 7 years with this radio station. What do you mean he didn't know any better?
Hell.
He should have known who I am. And so I need to hear from Left Shoe and Big Fudge that they were wrong and that I am a man of integrity.
You are indeed a man of integrity. And we would again like to thank Synergenics and OT Centers for helping us get out there, along with Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds, AA Best Bail Bonds, all of the coverage, all that we did could not have been but for them. So we thank them in perpetuity for helping us out. And I cannot wait to drink consistently from one of the couple of Stanleys. Boy, these are a big deal now.
People think they're cool.
You got to be really cool to have one.
I mean, are you? Are you?
Really cool? I have one. Not this one. This is a decorative piece of material until it gets sent to you.
So this is starting to really pick up some steam. That the 49ers did not know the overtime rules.
And this, as a Dallas Cowboy fan who has picked apart the minutia of clock management for Mike McCarthy for the last 3 years, I take great pride in the absolute slipshod ignorance if this is in fact the case. If the brain trust didn't know the new rules.
Let's reset. There's an article from Lindsey Jones in The Ringer, and Lindsey's great.
Yes.
So according to her, she writes, and I'm kind of skimming and paraphrasing, the Chiefs overtime, obviously the game went to overtime, plan worked out exactly how they wanted. Justin Reed told The Ringer the Chiefs had first discussed the new overtime rules as far back as training camp. Defensive lineman Chris Jones told me players were prepared for what to expect if the Super Bowl went to overtime. We talked through this for 2 weeks, Jones said, Chris, not Lindsey, how we was going to give the ball to the opponent. If they scored, we were going to go for 2 at the end of the game. We rehearsed it. Lindsey's exact writing here. The 49ers did not do the same. Multiple San Francisco 49ers said after the game that they were not aware that the overtime rules are different in the playoffs than they are in the regular season. And strategy discussions over how to handle it did not occur as a team. She has some quotes from players who obviously, live up to that. That is like all-time gaff, dude.
Okay,
like,
so
all-time. What?
Dude, there is zero forgiveness for this. And if you're a 49er fan, because not only, if you didn't know, I get it. I know I don't get it. But did the ref kind of explain it right at the tip? I know you're doing other stuff and getting ready, but the ref even came back and said, you know what? You're going to have to score a touchdown. If you don't, there'll be another one and then another one.
So, yeah, the verbiage that was used a lot was we're starting a new game. That was how they said it, how Bill Vinovich said it, and how the CBS broadcast referred to it. I don't understand how you can not know this. I mean, people say all the time, like, oh, is there not a guy? Is there not a person who like tells them this? I don't know. I mean,
the quality control director.
And people are saying like you had 2 weeks. I think that is even kind of stupid and kind of a dumb. This is a playoff rule. This could have happened in either game that they played prior to this. Like, how could you possibly do this? It's a huge indictment. And to say that did not affect your strategy, you can miss me with this wanting the third possession crap, Kyle Shanahan. This absolutely affected your strategy. Whether you want to admit, I would bet. I mean, I'm not super confident, but I would bet that Kyle Shanahan was like, "Oh, the rules are different.
What?
Well, maybe I would have kicked first."
Well, let's hear from him. So post game, he was asked about the situation that he found himself, and well, this is what he had to say.
It's just something we talked about with none of us have a ton of experience of it, but we went through all the analytics and talked with those guys, and we just thought it'd be better. We wanted the ball third. But both teams matched and scored. We wanted to be the ones who had the chance to go win and got that field goal. So we knew we had to hold them to at least to a field goal. And if we did, then we felt it was in our hands after that.
I need a t-shirt. I need a shirt. We wanted the ball third.
I mean, what? There's two baked in assumptions there that are, I don't know which one is more dumb. So one of them is that you're going to stop Patrick Mahomes, right? Like that is one of the baked in assumptions to saying you're getting the ball third. But the other is that you're actually not going to do enough to win. You know what I'm saying? like you're gonna do the bare minimum required. That is so stupid. And I mean, again, if Mike McCarthy did this, he would be banished from the solar system. Like people would not let him be a human being anymore. But I don't mean this like I want Kyle Shanahan to get some heat, but like he better get some heat, dude. Like how can you not know this? When the Chiefs knew it and they won. I mean, like this is a massive. You can miss me with this Brock Purdy slander if you're coming for him or George Kittle or whoever. Kyle Shanahan lost this Super Bowl for the 49ers by blowing a 10-point lead and then by literally not knowing the rules to the game.
Let's hear from Chris Jones' post as he discusses what went down.
They're crazy. Yeah. Because the overtime rules has changed where both teams get the ball. no matter who scores. So, originally you want to let the other team get the ball, stop them holding the three, so you know where you got it. Or if you stop them, they punt it, then all you have to do is kick three.
Originally, under the old rules, they don't apply. But here's what gets me. And I don't think Romo did a great job last night, but he did better than he has.
Dude,
he wasn't
so bad.
He's nowhere near Greg. We will all agree that Olsen has now supplanted him as the best over on that network. But he did have his moments. And one of the things that he talked about during the game was they had some private conversations with Kyle Shanahan, and Kyle had told him, look, you don't wait on Pat Mahomes. You don't react to him. You've got to go get it. You've got to go straight forward and get it and keep it out of his hands, no matter what. And you know what? We saw on several occasions the 49ers do that. The trick play that scored. You got to go get it. And then for them to say, we're going to go get it, but in overtime, we'll be third.
You got to be that person the whole game. That's the only way to do it. And that's why the only time we've seen this Chiefs team, push to the brink was the Bengals. I mean, because they're the only team, and that was the AFC Championship game now 2 years ago. They're the only team with that killer instinct,
right,
who will completely and totally go shot for shot with these guys. Nobody else has the gall, and they turtled up. And again, what an indictment! Like, how can you trust him as a head coach ever? Like, and he is so arrogant. You know what I mean? Like, he is so smug and acts like he is smarter than everybody else, and to have this blow up in his face is just. Golly, dude, like, again, how can you
when we get
impossible.
back, yeah, the ramifications of the win and the loss, we're going to talk about it at 8:00. And San Francisco definitely needs to take a hard look. It's all-star cast, the huge cap hit they're dealing with, and eventually they're going to have to pay Purdy. Where do they stand? And you look at Kansas City as they are taking it to a potential three-peat. A potential three-peat. Are we ready for that? You talk about Kyle Shanahan, you look at the numbers that they're dealing with, and you look back over time, and you go, well, we haven't seen anything like Kansas City since, and you could name New England, you can go football, you can go basketball, where with Jordan and those guys, where no matter what you did, you just weren't going to beat Michael. No matter what you did, you just weren't going to beat him. You might have momentary success, but it wasn't going to last, and you weren't going to beat them when it mattered. Are we there yet with Kansas City? And if we are, what's San Francisco to do? What do you do? Because you're going to have to pay Purdy.
I don't know that they're going to pay Purdy. I mean, but are they a quarterback away? Is that their problem? Like, if they have a quarterback, do they know the rules to overtime? You know what I mean? Like, is that the difference? I mean, this is why this is such a delicate thing, man. Because what where the butterfly lands changes lives. Like, Purdy was fine last night. He wasn't great, but that's not again demerit against him. They were beat. Sometimes you get beat, and they got beat on that fourth down. They had to settle for the field goal near the end of regulation, obviously, and then Kansas City went down and tied it. Dude, they held the Chiefs to 19 points in the in regulation. I mean,
right.
Roberto Padilla says I would take Purdy in Dallas. Gilbert, buddy, you need another cup of coffee, maybe a pastry right now.
They do face free agency from Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, Trent Williams. What do you do? I don't know what you do, because I'm not sure when we're looking at a cap hit of $28 million for Deebo Samuel, a cap hit of $21 million for George Kittle, a cap hit of $31 million for Trent. I'm offsides twice in the first quarter, Williams. $28 million for Eric Armstead.
Man, they are these are hard questions. When you don't win and everybody's discontent, remember before Deebo got paid, there was the rumors that he wanted out. I find it significant. Significant might be a bit strong. I find it interesting that 49ers players were willing to publicly say they didn't know the overtime rules. Think about that for a second. As we sit here and contemplate, what's going on.
Is that an indictment
whatever.
of their coach? I mean, are they, you think they're going out of their way hey, man, we weren't prepared. We didn't know. But it wasn't their call, though.
Yeah, I think they're pissed. They've lost 2 Super Bowls, and they're having to hear and watch everybody rightfully talk about how the Chiefs are a dynasty. That could be them. They had 10-point leads in 2 of the 3 Super Bowls that the Chiefs. Think about this. The Chiefs have won 3 Super Bowls, obviously, and they overcame 10-point deficits against the Niners in 2 of them. And the other one, the Niners lost the NFC Championship game to not meet the Chiefs because their quarterback got hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get being frustrated that you are right there on the precipice of everything and you have nothing to show for it.
Next year, the cap is expected to land between 240 and 245. That's millions. 49ers would have to fill 44 spots on their roster between $28 and $33 million, and that's all they'd have to spend. I don't know if the rest of the country realized the deadline that the 49ers were working under.
Well,
I didn't realize it was this bad.
Especially because after next year, Purdy's eligible for a deal himself. And now you're paying quarterback money.
Now, granted, these contracts are made to be renegotiated and kick money down the street. I get that they're not as bad as it sounds because everybody can renegotiate. Everybody gets paid. But you just brought it up. Everything I'm talking about doesn't include anything of Purdy's money.
Well, but the other thing too is like right now they're literally paying as least amount as they possibly can to Purdy as Mr. Irrelevant, which we've heard a jillion times at this point. And like it's not a talent issue. It's not like, oh well, they're not. They can use the salary cap space that they have. As a result of Purdy being on a cheap deal to go get this, that, or whatever. You need another Deebo Samuel. You have one in Brandon Ayuk. You need a star tight end option. You have one in George Kittle. Oh, you even have Kyle Juszczyk. You have Christian McCaffrey. You have Nick Bosa, getting big money. You have Chase Young, who you traded for at the deadline. You have Randy Gregory, who showed up and made big plays. You have Charvarius Ward. You have, Dre Greenlaw. You have Fred Warner. You have all what more need? That's what I think is the devastating part about this is because you have more than you need. You are abundantly rich in terms of talent. You are abundantly rich in terms of scheme and adaptability. And you not only had all of that, you were favorites because this is the weakest version of your kryptonite that has ever existed in his NFL career to this point, and you still lost. You know what I mean? So what more has to be working in your favor for you to win?
When we get back on the other side of the break, we'll look at what they did need to win, where the Chiefs sit on the other side of the coin as they chase 3. We're going to have to come up with some kind of – you can't use 3, Pete. We got to find something up with 3 and Chiefs and something for the shirt.
What do you mean you can't use 3 Pete? They're going
well, you have to pay Riles when you do that. Every time you say that or put it on a shirt, you got to pay Riles. So I got to come up with something else to fit the
third
3.
leg.
The third. We'll talk about those that are coming back. Travis Kelce's 35, or Jason Kelce is retired, who refuses to go out quietly. Did you see the picture of him dressed as the lone wolf or the wolf pack?
I love Jason Kelce. Super fun. At this point, it's like, dude, I mean, relax. You dial it back a little bit. I mean, maybe just let your brother play in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Just let your brother play in the Super Bowl and don't make it about you. You know what I mean? Maybe just do that.
We got a lot to talk about the game itself. We've gotten into Usher commercials that stuck in your mind. There were actually a couple of pretty good ones that were worth it.
What?
There were a few. No, man, you were so Gen X right now. You're so millennial right now.
Gen X.
I'm the Gen X guy. I should be the one upset. I thought there were some actually pretty funny ones. Worthy of discussion, worthy of merit, but it's not like it used to be.
Wrong. There's some good movie trailers. The Wicked movie looks pretty good.
We're going to talk about it next.
Something has changed within me. Something is not the same.
With that, we'll be right back talking movies, what we saw and where we're going. And oh, by the way, the Spurs got a game tonight. They're up in Toronto. It's game 4 of the Rodeo Road Trip. There is a blessed break on the way as Jeremy and Victor got ahead to an all-star game. We'll talk about that in a bit on the other side. And don't forget, Valentine's Day is just a couple of days away. We'll help you plan appropriately. You got lots to do. Don't go anywhere. Hang around with us. He's RJ. I'm Rob. We call this show the Morning Huddle, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I just spent a week in Las Vegas, Sin City, with all that was available to me. Every day I was walking a minimum of 4.5 to 5 miles. Heck, last Monday, the crew walked nearly 8, nearly 9. Let me take that back. We logged a lot of miles last week. Why does that matter? Because I've gone to the Institute for Functional Health over the last 6 years, and over that time, I've lost enough weight to go do things just like that. If you'd have asked me 4 years ago to go hike like I had to a Las Vegas block over and over and over, the miles that we put on were ridiculous. I couldn't have done it. Thank goodness I walked into Dr. Torres' office way overweight and believing I could never be anything but that. And he convinced me otherwise and put me on the right track. That's why I'm such a fan of Dr. Jacob Torres and the Institute for Functional Health, because he worked with somebody like me and convinced somebody like me who had never been able to lose weight and quite frankly had never really tried, that you could. And the benefits of that would manifest in so many different ways, like me being able to do that. If you can't and you want to, I want you to call the doc today. The number is 210-468-1891. The website is iffhealth.com. We're talking functional health. Can you live the life that's in front of you? Can you wake up tomorrow and go make those walks? Can you get up and play with your kids? Can you go do the things you need to do without being exhausted? If you can't, call Dr. Torres today. Start losing some weight. Resolve that you're going to do it. And I'll tell you what, nobody is better at helping you get there than he is. He's helped thousands. Let him help you. Call him today, 210-468-1891. Trust me, this number can change your life. And when it does, I want you to thank me later.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
Wade Phillips joining us here in studio on the Blitz.
But, you know, a lot of Cowboy fans like to blame Jerry Jones for the problems because he is the GM. Is he a football guy? Does he know a lot of football?
Oh, yeah. No, he played football. He played on a winning team. He's been the general manager the whole time. And look at how much success they've had. And we're mad at him for losing 12 games every year, but, you know, because they lost the playoff game. But, no, he's into football.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This year, Dell Technologies wants to help you do amazing things with their best tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 13 Plus, powered by Intel Core processors, and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology to match your forward-thinking spirit and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
Hi, everybody. It's Joe Reinagel. You know, now is a great time of year to get your roof inspected and ready for our crazy spring weather. Be it hot, cold, rain, or hail. Who knows what Mother Nature has in store for us this year? Call Stevens Roofing at 210-785-0994. You know, your roof protects your home and your family. A quality roof overhead means comfort, confidence, and certainly peace of mind. Now is the time to get your roof ready for spring. Call Stevens Roofing at 210-785-0994 or go to stevensroofing.net.
KTFM Floresville. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's gone!
Your home for Major League Baseball. San Antonio's Sports Center.
The champs reign supreme. That's 2 in a row for the Kansas City Chiefs as they take down the 49ers. Pat Mahomes is your Super Bowl MVP. In the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs fell to Brooklyn 123-103 on Saturday night. They're getting back to work again tonight against the Toronto Raptors. And other Spurs news, according to Jake Fisher of Yahoo Sports, there are several front offices.
How good do you want to be?
From play one to the last play, we fighting. Today's about opportunity and character. We got a chance to come out here
I'm finishing
and
when we
play
come back.
football. It's a blessing. Hey, every season is full of defining moments. Let's make this day a defining moment for us in our quest. Let's go, baby.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here are the guys.
Hey, huddle up. We got something to talk about. It's the Morning Huddle. He's RJ. I'm Rob. I got to complete this statement. According to several front offices across the NBA, Atlanta had a pre-deadline chatter coming across that they might have made a deal. The Hawks are of the belief that Trae Young could become available to trade this summer, and the Lakers and the Spurs are chasing him. There could have been a deal. We'll talk about that in just a bit as the Spurs continue to chase mediocrity and worse. They are 0-3 on the Rodeo Road Trip. They are 0-7 in their last 7. They hope to right the ship in another country tonight in Toronto. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Here we sit in the afterglow of a Super Bowl that was the 7th longest football game in NFL history. People are going to tell you it was a great game. We might remember it as a great game. It wasn't. It had a great finish. It was a good game.
I don't even think the finish was great.
Well, I mean, overtime and the Super Bowl. The way. But you're right. Even the finish. Okay, when you look back at Jim Nance's long and illustrious career, I think he will tell you that his Super Bowl call was not that good. It just seemed like it happened, and everybody was like, "Oh crap, it's over."
So, Jim Nance is amazing.
He is.
But it was so quick. Like they kind of, I wouldn't say went like hurry up, but like there wasn't time to like breathe,
right?
And then the play, and then the game winner. And so I don't fault Nance entirely for that, but like I thought, I don't know if you remember when Nance called the Deron Bland pick 6 on Thanksgiving. That was the record
spectacular.
That exactly. That was among the very best calls of Jim Nance's career. Like it was perfect, and a lot of what was great about it was that Tony Romo stayed out of the way. So I mean, this was okay, dude. I kind of feel for CBS a little bit, and I don't mean to make this about that, but like, they had this Super Bowl. The one that they had before this was Tampa blowing out Kansas City. The one they had before that was the like no score New England win over the Rams. The one before that was the Broncos beating the Panthers. Like they haven't had like an all timer in a little bit, and so that's just kind of a tough scene for them.
But they got what, nearly 5 hours of primetime broadcast, and every commercial mattered. No, wasn't anybody going anywhere. I mean, it wasn't the nail biter, but it was good enough to keep everybody involved. I really will be interested to see what the viewership numbers were. It's going to be up. It'll be up there. It'll be up in the top 10. I have no doubt.
You want to see, or do you want to hear the dumbest possible statistic of all time?
You mean other than 20 assists a game matter?
Oh yeah, this is dumb. Like, oh my gosh, they're incredible. Not dumb, like actually dumb, like that one. So since 2019, which was the first Chiefs Super Bowl winning season, obviously Mahomes won the MVP the year prior, but since 2019, the Chiefs are now 5-1 when trailing by 10 or more points at any point in the playoffs. That in and of itself is so dumb, right? Like they have been down by 10 or more points 6 times, and that they have won 5 of those games. Like, what on earth? It's impossible. But Rob, the rest of the NFL in that exact same span, the rest of the NFL is 6-48.
So
I mean,
so let's put it in context. I mean, let's be realistic about things. And I know this is outrageous. And when you look at
a guy like of their wins are in that capacity are Super Bowls.
In the Super Bowl, and there's 2 common denominators. There's Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid. I mean, there's
Travis Kelce
and Travis
Chris
Kelce,
Jones.
but
I mean,
yeah, but I mean, the common
and
denominator.
there's Kyle Shanahan. He's been there in 2 of them.
He's a culprit on both of these. But it's Pat Mahomes. It is the greatness of one singular guy, and I think so many of us, when we talk about what great players look like, I don't think I really get the sense of what a great player is until I interview good players and they talk about great players that they go against. And, you know, for the longest time, when you brought up Tom Brady to any NFL player, current or past, terms got hushed and they spoke about him like they were speaking about a living God. I mean, you're just like, dude, I've seen him throw interceptions. He's not that good. And there's no one man better than 54 other guys. It's just not like that. Well, that's not true. There are. Every now and again. We just got blessed with 2 of them in succession. Pat Mahomes is the best football player I've ever watched play. I'm not saying that he's the best football player ever. I'm just saying what I saw this last night, he's the best football player I've ever seen play. There's no goatness. I don't know what that means to anybody else, but I've never seen anything like it. I've been around for 57 years. I have never seen anything like that. Better than Brady. Better than Montana. Better.
So, do you think that Andy Reid is a better head coach than Bill Walsh or Bill Belichick?
That is such a tough one. Because I think he is as good. I do. I think he is as good. But what Andy Reid is not, Andy Reid did not change the game by his scheme or style.
I know. So my point is, like, I think it's fair to say that Bill Belichick's a better coach than
Yes.
Andy Reid. It's not.
And Joe Walsh, I would put him up there too.
Bill Walsh.
I mean, Joe is a fine musician and a decent coach. But Bill Walsh, those are the only 2 coaches I'd put above Andy Reid right now. I mean, there's others that obviously merit.
But my point is, like, it's fair to put them both ahead of Andy Reid.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're saying that Mahomes has the like, quote unquote worst coach of the 3. You know what I'm saying? Like that, like, it helps contextualize his greatness. I mean, like, you can argue that in some capacities, Belichick and Walsh with his innovation carried Brady and Montana in some, respective ways. I think Mahomes is the one doing the carrying here. Like, Mahomes is the one, really elevating Andy Reid. Not that Andy's doing nothing again, but, like, good God, they're just so stupid. Dude, the guy who caught the game-winning touchdown, they left for the Jets in the offseason. I mean, like, what?
And then they get it back. I don't know what you do when you have to face that. I know you prepare and you act as if an injury or a mistake can change the world. You talked about earlier, a butterfly landing one other place, suddenly 49ers are there. But they're not. And they're not because Pat Mahomes, whether by will, by act, or just by fate, will not allow it to happen. It's just not going to happen very often, if ever, to Pat Mahomes, where he stumbles, he fails, he doesn't get it done. So I don't know what you do if you're the 49ers that are facing this massive cap hit. I don't know what you do if you're the Dallas Cowboys, other than, well, we'll just, we'll hope. Maybe
you just hope that Mahomes isn't there,
yeah,
and that it can be normal. That's what you do.
That's a hell of a way to go into $1 billion entity, to just go, well, we got only thing that we can pray for, as good as we can get. We will never be good enough if we're going against him at his best. No matter how good we are, we will never be better than him. I don't know how you address the next 5 years. How do I justify?
What do you mean? He's 28.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. How do I justify spending any amount of money on a quarterback for any length of time, knowing no matter what I do, it ain't going to work? It doesn't matter.
I can tell you why. The why, in terms of how you can justify spending anything on whatever, is because irrelevance is so much worse.
Boom.
It is so much worse. Would you rather be the Spurs or the Sixers?
Thank you.
I mean, it is, and it's not just about being relevant, but it's about having a glimmer of hope, a flicker of hope that maybe the butterfly wings land your way. You know what I mean? Maybe you catch all the breaks. And I would offer that kind of happened in this game too, aside from the Mahomes of it all. I mean, like, the fumbles, all bounced their way. Mahomes had a weird pitch back to Pacheco that was completely and totally ill-timed, and they were able to land on it. Like, that's just, again, it's frustrating when somebody is seemingly so much more talented than you and gets all the breaks on top of it. I mean, but sometimes, there is the one day where the breaks go your way. So, like, people are going to freak out. People are going to lose their minds when Kirk Cousins, coming off of an Achilles tear, gets $55 million a year from some team, because that is going to happen this offseason. And the why, to answer your question, somebody would do that, is because irrelevance is not only so much worse, but because it gives you the faintest chance you have a seat at the table, and maybe you can take the head of it when the Chiefs are in the bathroom. Like but you got to be at the table to have a chance to do that.
Jerry has mastered the art of taking irrelevance and making it feel relevant. That the irrelevance is in fact the relevant part of them. That the Cowboys are so irrelevant that now they're relevant because of their absolute irrelevance. And it's no better put together. When you think of what the Cowboys are, I want you to listen to a conversation, a back and forth between Micah Parsons and CeeDee Lamb. And figure out, I mean, we got coaching flux on the defensive side. We got all kinds of questions about, but at the end of the day, what does it take to win football games? There's accountability, and there's those little things that we dream about, we talk about that matter on games like last night that the Cowboys have not mastered. Listen to Micah and CeeDee as we fumble through our stuff. I'm sorry.
Yeah, all the pieces.
All the pieces.
You go look at the All-Pro. I was just going to say, you go look at the All-Pros, you go look at the Pro Bowls. Not saying that mean anything.
We got the talent.
The talent is there. We got to have discipline. And that will to win, man. We got to be together, bro. And we got to have the leaders. And I feel like that was a difference. That was a difference, bro. And it showed. I got to step up. You got to step up. We got to everybody got to step up. I feel like we got to all look in this mirror. You know what I'm saying? We got to deal with this.
On our accountability. Anybody who jump off sides and can't, we just going around, bro. Like,
your point.
We got to own. Yeah. Like, it's so much stuff that we kept just pushing off. Like, we going to get it right. We're going to get it right. And boom. Like,
there's no more pushing off, bro.
It comes to bite us every year. 3 years in a row. It's literally the problem. Like, just keep pushing off. This is a problem. We win. And they just think, because we're winning, we're not learning.
That's the thing.
And it comes and bite us, bro, every time. I can't make it up.
I get it that we win, but you got to realize how we winning. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
Like some of these games,
they don't beat good teams.
Some of these games, we probably get one flag less than the other team, and we was just fortunate. You know what I'm saying? Rather than just playing a complete game, less flags, just straight out domination. You know what I'm saying? Once we put those games together in series of this season, then maybe people will start believing. Maybe. And if they don't, that's not why we playing. We playing to go get a ring anyway. So if we go get a ring, they ain't got no choice.
That last statement was about all we needed to hear. That's Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb on Micah's Edge podcast talking to each other.
So I love how that turned from like, we need to be accountable.
Yeah.
Like over the course of the discussion into like, well, I mean, if they're not with us,
yeah.
like screw them. You know what I mean? Like, it was just like, you know what I mean? Like the conversation began with like, yeah, we need to be better. We need to take accountability. We're going to make people run if they're offsides. And just by talking to each other in literally 30 seconds, it became, well, screw whoever doesn't believe in us because we're going to do it anyway. I mean, like, dude,
it's
I really don't want to have this
take.
I really don't want to have this take because it makes me feel so old. And I already felt really old, like, jumping up and vibing to the Usher halftime performance. But good God, why does this conversation have to happen on a podcast? Like, why can't this conversation happen amongst yourselves in the locker room like any normal team? I mean, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
next year, if you jump offside, you're gonna have to run. Accountability is the foundation of a successful anything. I don't care what you're doing. If you don't have built-in accountability where you are accountable to your partner, you're accountable to your underlings, to those that are listening to you, and you're accountable to all, and it is equal accountability. Unless you have that, you are losing. You cannot win without that. You can't on anything. And here we sit.
It became so much about how like people aren't giving us credit because even when we win, we're learning. It couldn't just be like, you know what, man, we thought a little bit too much of ourselves. We took the cheese and it bit us. You know what I mean?
RJ, this is one of the things we do different on, because I do believe that a coach can bring an attitude of accountability. A coach can, and that is something that is woefully absent from the Cowboys.
I don't disagree with this. What are you talking about?
I think you I think you feel like accountability is something you just kind of come to it. I don't believe that. I don't think Sam Williams will ever be accountable until somebody finds him or something. I just feel like they've let it go to the point where they have to have a new voice voicing what has to be done. And when I hear Ryan talk about calling McCarthy, Sexy Rexy, calling McCarthy, and well, listen to what Ryan says, why he threw his hat into the ring.
But I will say this. The reason I was so, I've been out for 7 years. I've never called another head coach or anything like that. I called Mike McCarthy. And the reason I did is because I want to be on this stage. I want to be back on this stage if I'm going to get back into coaching, have a chance at that. I think with this roster, the way it is, I think offensively, special teams, and defense, and I figured I could make maybe even a little bit of an upgrade that they could be right here. That's why I was interested. It's funny how, well, should we get the, no, your team has no chance at me. Okay. That's generally the case. I would only go at the right situation. And if it's not completely right, then I'm not going. But this team, it is interesting because they are so close to getting over that edge. And that's why I think people would be interested in this job.
Well, first of all, I had no idea he was in such demand. But secondly, I think the reason he sees this, he goes, the one thing they're missing, they got the talent, they got everything they need, is the coaches are not holding them accountable. They're allowed to continue to make mistakes without any repercussions. And that goes all the way up to the owner.
Duh. I mean, look at who he's hiring potentially to be the new defensive coordinator. Is his buddy, his friend, and I mean, I'm really sad that there are so many Cowboys fans who are just falling for it, hook, line, and sinker. That are like, oh, well, this is great. This is brilliant. What, you're not trusting Jerry? I mean, this whole conversation was really depressing. I would love to believe, I really would. And I would love to believe this about just like any human being, that you've learned your lesson and you're taking it to heart and you're going to be accountable moving forward. And I hate this because this is such a devastating thing to hear from a person. I don't believe you. I'm sorry. Like, it's been too much at this point. You're going to have to earn that trust. Nope, we don't have it in you. And anybody who's placing it in you is only doing so out of hope. There's no objective, justifiable, undeniable, irrefutable reason to do so. Because anytime you give these dudes a modicum, an inch of trust, they ruin it. They throw it away. I mean, there's again a almost 3-decade-long history to prove that.
The 28-year-old Patrick Mahomes now has 15 playoff wins, trailing only Tom Brady and Joe Montana for most by a starting quarterback since 1950, and he's 7 years ahead of the closer one. He
also was born during the final season that the Dallas Cowboys won a Super Bowl. Think about that. And what he's accomplished.
You want to really get depressed? Go Google Usher's age. You want to just ruin your day completely. Just do that and then look at all the other numbers involved. Pat Mahomes in 1996 and everything else that's been really old and is tired and needs to be retread or redone.
That sucks.
That's kind of how we feel right now. What do you remember about the Usher show? Is there a commercial that you can name from yesterday that stuck, that worked? What they did and what the product was that you want to go buy. And it can't be a movie. Do you remember any of them? Because isn't that at the end of the day what they're trying to do is sell you something?
I remember a few.
Well, let's talk about them. Coming back, let's talk about those commercials, Ursher, and everything else we dealt with around what was a high average, really good, but not classic football game. We're talking Super Bowl, we're talking Dynasty, and we're talking about the entertainment all around it. Don't go anywhere. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Let our team keep your home running comfortable and worry-free. Call on Mr. Electric for all your electrical needs. 210-248-2026. Or get a hold of us online at mrelectric.com and enter your zip code.
License number TECL 34221.
At George Salinas Injury Lawyers, our motto is simple. George gets justice. But what does that mean for you? It means you get an award-winning team of attorneys who will fight for everything taken from you so that you can get back to what matters in life. When we say George gets justice, it's just not a motto. It's a commitment to you. Call us at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in 1 wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Hi, it's Jason Minix. You're listening to the home of the Cowboys, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Star. Used to be kind of a cool thing. I don't think it's so cool anymore. What should happen to those guys on the field? Should we have like dogs that we could stick on them? Like release the streaker dogs? Or do we want the players to have free reign to tackle them? Maybe we tase them for public amusement.
That's just got to be the worst feeling as a security officer. It's like, oh, you got to go grab the person.
Some
You know what I
drunk,
mean?
naked dude.
That's what I'm saying. Like, go grab the person.
I
The
didn't
streaker.
see it. In fact, a good friend of the show and good friend of San Antonio, Christian Bove of USAA, had some tickets, and he posted a video of the streakers. There were a couple of them. They all hit at once, and they went in different directions. I heard Nance mention it. Oh, we got something going on. We can't show you. Remember the guy that the girl with the large tracts of land that would always sneak in?
No.
If you're watching the video, you know what I'm talking about. You don't remember her?
No.
And then there was the guys that would write stuff on their back and was the expert. That's not such a cool thing anymore. Now that we're dealing with, like, we're afraid of stuff like this, I don't think there should be much worse punishment.
Obviously not those things, but I love what an American thing to say. I love the Super Bowl, but I love epic things. I love when things feel epic and big and extravagant, and the Super Bowl is kind of that personified because it's the Super Bowl for like literally everything involved. Right? For like the camera people, it's the Super Bowl of their profession. For the halftime performer, you know what I mean? Like it's the biggest possible stage for anything that is associated with the game, and that's like a really cool thing to sort of see unfold simultaneously for so many professions and careers or whatever. And so it was great. I mean, it was great. It was classic. Did some pulled pork and enjoyed it while it unfolded. Dan Marino had the second commercial.
Yes,
our
he
buddy.
did.
Our buddy Dan Marino was in the 2 spot. So not quite lead off, but still, he was the first real commercial because the first one was a movie preview. So we went from Wicked to Dan Marino.
So Wicked was the first movie. We had Wicked. We had the new Planet of the Apes movie. Today, what's that? What are they chanting? It's going to be a good day.
My parents went and saw a movie the other night, and they told me that they saw that preview in the movie. So it wasn't even like the debut trailer for Planet of the Apes.
I hope, side note, we'll continue talking commercials, but I hope that they do, in fact, remake the original Planet of the Apes again, not the one where they're, I don't know.
I've never seen the originals. The only one I've seen was the Mark Wahlberg.
See, the problem is the Mark Wahlberg, when he tried to kiss the monkey, got a little weird. That was a little out there. But the other ones are so old that you can't. My kids couldn't get past the bad makeup. Like those are supposed to be monkeys, really.
Okay, well, hold on, back up. Come back. Favorite commercial on Sunday specifically.
I'm trying to place what my favorite commercial was. But the thing is, for it to be an effective commercial, I have to remember the product, right? I mean, if I can only tell you the stars, it wasn't right. Because one of my favorite commercials, I couldn't even tell you what it was for. I think it might have been for Mountain Dew.
So
the girl
Renee says in the Brigade Bar, Dunkings was amazing. That was my favorite.
See, that was good. Aubrey Plaza. I thought Aubrey Plaza commercial was good. And the Ben Affleck commercial was okay. But what saved that commercial was not Ben doing what he was doing. And it wasn't even Tom Brady. It was his best friend saying, man, remember when I said I'd do anything for you? This is anything. I thought that was pretty fun.
They were cool, but nothing really stood out. Like,
no.
We didn't get like a what type of moment. You know what I mean? That's what you're looking for from a Super Bowl commercial.
No transitional commercial at all where you go, oh man, I can't wait, other than for movies. And
what were the 4 movies even? I mean, Wicked.
There's Wicked. There's Planet the Apes. There's some scary one.
Deadpool. So I didn't know that A Quiet Place had a universe of movies, because this is called A Quiet Place: The First Day or something like that. So now A Quiet Place, the John Krasinski, Emily Blunt is in it. Now there's like a universe of movies, I think, within that. So they're all quiet. They're all places. So that's where we're at here.
I like the Michael Cera commercial. I thought that was kind of funny. The CeraVe commercial, because what did he say? My passion is human skin. I thought that was enough to take home.
It was okay. I mean, again, the commercials just, kind of hit or miss. And they're kind of ruined now because so many people, even Dan Marino, our buddy, that commercial was accessible before the game started.
Did their best to get back into the good graces of many red hat wearers.
I'll be honest, because I'm in my phone a lot during the commercials. We didn't get a Clydesdales commercial, did we?
They did a lot early because they showed them delivering beer down on Fremont, like with the whole trailer walking into some of the dives down on Fremont. So they got a little bit early, but no, there was no. Twister. I had to bring up Twister.
God, thank you, LPJ Salazar. I was so mad. I thought it was fake, the Twisters thing. I was so bummed to find out that this was real. And I tweeted about this and was complaining and said, we don't need a remake. And I got all these people that were like, it's not a remake, it's a sequel.
This sounds like something that should be saved.
Who was just one day like, you know what we need more of? Twisters. We need more of those little silver balls that float in the air. You know what I mean? For when the tornado.
It was a very good movie that does bear being talked about. So when we come back, you got any grievances, anything to get off your chest as we start a new Monday? Remember, the football season she is done. The new football season, she is here. What are you complaining about? Well, let's hear it. Let's get the bad air out and the good air in. But before we do that, I want to give away some tickets. Interpol, that's the band, not the policing organization out of Europe, is coming to our tech port in May. And if you know who they are, then you know more than me. And if you want to go, it's easy. 656-3776, 656-ESPN. It's a Live Nation joint. You want to go? Beat caller number 3, and you'll go see Interpol at the Tech Port on May the 6th. Coming back, grievances must be aired. We will do it. This is the Morning Huddle. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on the Blitz, the football season is over. That's horrible.
Don't be sad.
I'm sad.
We had a great Super Bowl. And as I told you, Ryan Nagel, don't bet against Patrick Mahomes.
Brock.
Yeah, another beer bet lost by Joe Reinagel. The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Attention all homeowners, do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass? Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just call 800-NEW-WINDOWS for your free consultation on top quality, affordable windows or patio doors for $0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Call 800-NEW-WINDOWS right now. Don't wait. Call 800-NEW-WINDOWS. 800-NEW-WINDOWS.
Here in San Antonio, if our football teams aren't winning, we make changes. So if you're losing against your non-energy efficient windows, call Maverick Windows at 800-972-3631 and get a free quote for new energy efficient windows. That's 800-972-3631.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This year, Dell Technologies wants to help you do amazing things with their best tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 13 Plus, powered by Intel Core processors, and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology to match your forward-thinking spirit and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Help line 800-262-2917. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-262-2917 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. That's 800-262-2917. For your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-262-2917.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
This is the Morning Huddle with Rob Thompson and RJ Ochoa.
Welcome, newcomers. The tradition begins with the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
Here are the grievances with Rob and RJ.
It's the Morning Huddle here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. RJ Ochoa, the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, and myself, Rob Thompson, will take you into the rest of the day. But we want you to enter the 10 o'clock hour in a Zen-like transcendent state where you are open to the possibilities without the negativity overruling any of the greatness that could be had for the day. So we allow you to voice your grievances in a variety of ways. You can type them. We recommend that you voice them. 656-3776, 656-ESPN. If there's something bothering you, get it off your chest. Let us deal with it and let the rest of the world just deal with the positivity that you will take through the rest of the day. Would you like to begin the grievance process, RJ?
This one's easy and it's topical. People complain about this a lot. But having just taken a couple of flights, in the last week or so, if you're way back of the plane, don't need to stand up.
No.
Just wait. You're not helping anybody. You're not getting out any sooner. No, just relax.
But sometimes you just got to straighten your legs,
No, you know what I'm talking about. You know the people I'm talking about.
Oh,
That's what I'm
no.
saying.
I had someone on my last flight jump up and grab both his and his whatever traveling partner's bags and put them down. He was the seat directly behind me, and put them down in such a way that I couldn't even get out of my row.
Okay. Well.
Oh, no, I stood up and made him move them back.
Oh, okay. So you were that person.
Yeah.
that
Well,
I'm talking
I
about.
see, literally flying home, RJ, flying out of Vegas on Saturday afternoon. There ain't a lot of people leaving. It was the easiest flight I've ever been on. We boarded so quickly because there was, a third full that we had to sit because we boarded so fast. We had to wait because we would have been so much earlier. And then getting off the plane in San Antonio, this has never happened to me. I got off the plane, and by the time we walked downstairs, our bags were already on the carousel. I've never had that happen in San Antonio. And it wasn't like it was a long wait to get off. This isn't a grievance. I'm just saying, when we air good things, Southwest has suffered over the last year or two. Maybe they're just selling too many tickets, because a half full flight, easiest way to go. Do I have a grievance? I have a few.
Okay. Hit me with one.
I came back, and I get why you do it. But when you're out gambling, the way that the casinos pay you in the printouts. Remember the old days when you got cash, when you got pennies and quarters and all that. I've got like 5 different vouchers for under $10. It's like a barely used gift card. I got all these gift cards in my wallet, but I got about $50 in El Cortez and Golden Nugget and Resorts International's $9.25, $6.17. I mean, this little that they're keeping. I never went and cashed in. I was too embarrassed to cash in a $6 ticket. So I've got about $50 in unused tickets. It's kind of like money. No, I'll make it. I'm see if I can remember. I'll put, what I'll do is I'll just put them in a coat that I might, so that when I get there, maybe I'll just put my hand in my pocket and go, hey, I found some money. And I also have some chips to bring home. So I have fake money and paper to justify my existence out of Vegas after what was a horrible gambling weekend for me. Horrible.
So, yeah, dude. I mean,
I didn't win anything. Nothing.
I had a rough go on Underdog, had a rough go on Squares. Just tough scene. I wasn't rooting for San Francisco, but if Kansas City hadn't kicked that game tying field goal at the end of regulation, that would have been it for me. You might not have seen me today.
I have another
on an island somewhere.
If you're gambling with friends and family, and you're out, you've decided that your hands were awful and you're losing. Don't go hang around other people and stand over their back and watch them play.
Oh, dude, that's a good grievance. Yeah,
it's like a vulture hovering around behind you. Like,
yeah,
don't go in. If you are so bad that you got run off the table, don't hang around the table anymore. We needed your negative vibe to go. I'm just saying that in generalities.
Even if you're just done and it wasn't bad, they're not our cards.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're my cards. They're your cards, right? Like, we're not a team all of a sudden.
Don't linger over me. Don't hang around behind me. I don't like that.
We have some grievances from the Brigade Bar. So Rudy Gonzalez says, my grievance is with you folks, already crying and complaining and whining and super panicky about the Dallas Cowboys, and it's only day 1 of the new football season. Well, Rob, Rudy Gonzalez has a point. The Dallas Cowboys have an incredibly long track record of completely totally delivering on expectations. So, Rudy, you're completely right to place,
Rudy?
Unquestioned faith in this front office.
I will say this, that I awake to morning knowing that the 49ers, as we speak, are in a worse position than the Dallas Cowboys.
Rob, I want to read you something, if you'll allow me.
I believe that.
I want to read you something. So, as we've been talking here this morning on the radio, what we do, Michael Gelkin of the Dallas Morning News released a story, and his tweet that kind of frames it says, with the Super Bowl over, blah, blah, will the Cowboys really be all in this offseason? The notion of a new roster building approach could be all talk. This is exactly from his write-up. Everybody go read in the Dallas Morning News.
Get out!
Ultimately, there's no clear indication the Cowboys have made a seismic shift in the draft-first philosophy by which they've long constructed their roster. As last March showed, it does allow space for veteran acquisitions such as Stephon Gilmore, Brandon Cooks, but this is the last line. Anyone hanging on to Jerry Jones's all-in comments may consider loosening that grip. But thanks, Rudy Gonzalez. We'll totally hear this grievance. Appreciate it. We have a few more, Rob, from the Brigade Bar. Joshua Jimenez says, my grievance is with people that watch the regular broadcast to complain about how the commentators weren't good when there is a perfectly good substitute that you can watch on Nickelodeon. Did you check out the Nickelodeon broadcast?
Awesome. No, I agree with that. Although
I don't agree with this at all because I said I like epic things. I want to feel the big time epicness of the broadcast. And I think Jim Nantz is incredible at his job. I think Tracy Wolfson is incredible at her job. I think Evan Washburn is incredible at his job. But Tony Romo is weighing down that broadcast. And so I want to be able to experience the broadcast, but they have the least big time feel of the big time crews across all the networks.
I will expand it across the CBS broadcast team. They're just boring. They're dull. All of them. They're not one of them that I go, even the guy that they brought in to add excitement in JJ Watt is still pretty dull. You get a new haircut and we can talk about that.
This is a great point because I suppose even the Fox pregame crew with Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy has and Jay Glazer has a big kind of vibe.
Yeah, it feels bigger.
Yeah, this crew, they're just like the game.
Seriously, Phil Simms? I'm Boomer Esiason?
Oh, also, apparently the show that they led into with the Super Bowl with the guy from This Is Us. What was it called? Taker or it's not Reacher. But apparently that show sucks. Bring back epic television shows following the Super Bowl. Once upon a time, people, there was a bomb in a patient on Grey's Anatomy after the Super Bowl. I mean, bring back those days. Like that was riveting television. But okay, so next grievance actually comes from right across your face, Rob, if you'll allow me. Grievance of the day from Ryan is that the guys didn't know about the Jabberwockies. That's not directed at me because I obviously know full well who the Jabberwockies are.
I didn't know who they were, man. Ryan's already lit me up. Private Ryan, our digital hero, our DH, has already lit me up this morning. He goes, of all my grievances, you didn't know who he told me that he believes they're the very reason for the movie, for the step up, for the movie, for the show. I
don't know if I'd go that far, but the Jabberwockies' performance in the penultimate episode of season 1 of America's Best Dance Crew when they were up for elimination is among the most clutch that any person or a group of people have ever been in a do or die situation. So, it was an incredible performance that they finished to get bucking here where one of their dancers spun on his head for 3 minutes in a row.
I was at this All-Star game. I didn't know that was an ongoing group.
Dude,
with Shaq and the rest. I saw this live. I just thought it was just a bunch of dancers. I didn't know that it had carried on. Well, if they want to be famous, take the mask off. That's just all I'm saying.
Wow. Nobody cared who you were until you took it off.
A couple of other grievances. When I went shopping yesterday, I didn't know I was going to be cooking.
Okay. So you ventured out to the grocery store on Super Bowl Sunday.
Has anybody seen the price of crawfish?
Well, it's a little.
Seriously, did something kill a bunch of crawfish in Louisiana? They're 5 times what they've been before. Seriously, I'm not. And keep in mind, it takes about 50 crawfish to feed me. I mean,
how many pounds of crawfish are we talking about? I need a good 2 to 3.
I know when I cook for the fam, when we do crawfish, we normally do a good 80 pounds, 40 to 80 pounds, and that's for about 25 people. That's not going to be possible.
That's a lot.
We're talking about $1,000 meal. We're talking about crawfish. Something has happened out there. Maybe it was the heat over the summer in Louisiana, but the prices are ridiculous this year. And at what point? Go ahead.
I was going to ask if you had another grievance.
I do have another
one. Your crawfish. Okay,
I have another one because down that
keep going off.
Now it's Mardi Gras now, right? Kinda. Are we in Mardi Gras?
I think so. Yeah. Spring break's a month away from most schools. So yeah.
So we're right in the middle. Is there a ceremonial beginning? Because I keep getting invited to Mardi Gras parties, and I know that they start with Lent. But when did it start? What's the start of Mardi Gras? Traditionally, is it the first day of Lent?
No. Let's see. Start of Mardi Gras is Tuesday, February 13th. That's tomorrow.
So Mardi Gras hadn't even started. Well, why?
Right.
Okay, what's going on down in Galveston? both this week and last. Isn't that Mardi Gras?
You're really fired up about this.
Well,
I mean,
I'm trying to figure out when to start. I don't want to false start on Mardi Gras. I don't want to go Trent Williams on this.
Wear the beads and be ready tomorrow on the show.
Well, if you're going to get the beads, you're going to have to earn them.
You are the one who's wearing.
I'm just, if I bring the beads, I earned them my way. I ain't proud of it. Somebody's got to do a job.
I have a grievance. It sucks.
You want to see how I earned them, Archer?
It sucks when the NFL ends. Wow, the radio audience is really benefiting right now.
I learned the beads
from the YouTube audience. This took a turn really quickly. You were almost too willing to do that. You might be good at this, if you know what I mean.
That's
Rob.
why I'm really concerned about the beginning. I can get my stuff all right.
So my grievance is it always sucks when football season ends because we love football, but I think part of what we love about football isn't even the football of it all, if that makes sense. What we love is the universal tentpole thing that we can experience together. We love the community aspect of having something to watch in real time and talk about as it, kind of folds through. And we have that with other sports. It just isn't as, organized neatly. So I have a proposition for you, something that I'm going to ask you to get into if you're willing.
I'm ready to be proposed to.
Okay. By the way, we didn't get a Taylor Swift proposal yesterday,
which I'm very upset about. But
Trav had the mic. Also, Trav, my grievance: we don't need the whole Viva Las Vegas. Like dude,
just one line. That's all we need.
Yeah, we only and it was awkward because I don't know if Jim Nance knew. Like, should I grab it back? Like, because he was like Viva, and it was
Viva.
Okay,
one more.
Nope, there's nobody playing any music, Trav. But anyway, game was on CBS, and there were several promotions throughout the afternoon and evening for the upcoming season of Survivor. That's my proposal for the official show of the Morning Huddle that we watch and we discuss and we analyze. February 28th.
I haven't watched Survivor since the naked guy won it. I think it was the first.
That's a different show. That's Naked and Afraid.
No. The very first Survivor, a dude that stripped down nude for the entire time won it. This was 25, 30 years ago. It's been a long time. I have not watched it since then. I'm down to watch Survivor. Why not?
Let's go. February 28th. Survivor.
For the longest time, there was the discussion that the day after the Super Bowl, the Monday after the Super Bowl, should be a national holiday. Brought to us by those that cure hangovers and whatever it might be. That Monday, it's just a difficult. No, I get it. I'm all for another holiday. The Super Bowl needs to be on Saturday. Can we just? No, yes, it does. It needs to be on Saturday. No, yes, it does. What was that extra day? What? Why put us to 11 o'clock on Sunday night?
Why have any NFL games on a Sunday then?
Well, this is not a slippery slope argument. I'm just talking about in the 2-week prep. Saturday night is a much better time. We're just off to the day, but alter the prep by a day. Everything begins on Sunday instead of Monday.
No,
we just finish it on Saturday.
We all come into work on Monday and talk about it.
No, we still would, but we would be much better rested. We would be fun. It is such a beatdown.
You would be way less rested. Imagine if like in our line of work, if you'd had to hop on a plane immediately on Friday like I did, get home, sleep, and then get up immediately, go to the grocery store, whine and complain about the price of crawfish.
That's exactly what I did.
And then throw it on the grill. No, you had a buffer day to somewhat rest and relax.
I laid it on Saturday and did the same thing.
But part of that rest and relaxation took place in Vegas. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're not accounting and allotting for that, before you left on Saturday.
I think we need to all agree. Put it on Saturday. Give us a day to recover.
Get out of here. Get the hell out.
You'd much rather suffer like this?
You've ever said.
There's a lot of people right now with ice packs and all kinds of stuff going on.
Ice packs?
I'm on the back of it. I'm talking about how the next level hangover cures with the things that there are people in legitimate pain this morning who had a good time last night that are now going through a day of presenteeism at work. There ain't nothing getting done right now. Everybody's honest. Everybody listening to me right now is staring into their laptop, bleary-eyed, going, oh man, it's only 9:45.
I haven't.
Oh, God, anybody got a donut? Anybody got any Tylenol?
My next grievance has to do with Mr. Hunt, who received the Lombardi Trophy from Commissioner Goodell last night. There may be a reason for this, and if there is, I'm open to announcing that I'm wrong. But so the Chiefs logo is the KC, obviously atop the arrowhead, right?
Yes.
And the arrowhead is moving from left to right. So Mr. Hunt on his suit jacket, on his blazer, on his left on the pocket, the arrow is moving from right to left.
Yeah, that did look weird.
Why? And it's also like differently colored. I don't know if it's the original Chiefs logo.
That's
maybe,
what I was thinking.
Like maybe it's the like OG, whatever. But why is it different?
I think he's wearing what Bunky Hunt used to wear back in the 60s. I do. I think that was an OG logo, but I noticed that too. He's a very reserved cat, that guy.
Let me see. I'm looking up Chiefs logo history, and I don't ever see it as being what was on his jacket.
Did we get enough Taylor Swift last night? Do you think they were deliberate in not showing her as much as they did?
I got to say, I think CBS, handled it well.
I do
At the
too.
very beginning, when they showed LeBron and whoever else, like she was like fourth. You know what I mean? Like, and yeah, they cut to her, but like I have zero issue cutting to her after a big Travis Kelce. I have zero issue cutting to her in general, but like it's logical. You know what I mean? Like it's she's the most famous person in the world. It makes sense to point to her.
I'm a Swiftie.
Thank you, Joe.
And you got to see Ice Spice, who, by the way,
true.
Her haircut makes her look like a Muppet. I'm just going to put that out there. That looks
Usher
weird. That
rocks.
red hair looks kind of like Annie. She just doesn't.
My only Usher grievance is that he didn't sing DJ Got Us Falling in Love. That would have made it a 10 out of 10 for me.
Now, I have no grievance with Usher. It was a good show. And I know that you're much more into it, much like I was far more into when you two did it because it was a band of my era. And Usher is a band of your era.
A band. Interesting.
A show, a group of whatever. But the roller skates was really cool, although he almost when he tried to skate between whose legs was he trying to skate through?
Oh yeah.
Almost lost it there.
Well, interestingly, by the way, the Jabberwockies, the season of America's Best Dance Crew they won, there was a group that danced on roller skates. They were called Break Skate.
See, it all comes together. That's why you listen to the Morning Huddle. It's all one big circular thing.
Exactly.
The Chiefs did everything right.
Kyle Shanahan deserves a lot, dude. This is, again, I wouldn't even say, if Nick Sirianni did this, if we found out that Nick Sirianni didn't tell his team the overtime rules for the Super Bowl, dude, I mean,
I get the sense that this, in the business that has legs, this is going to be huge for the next 24 hours.
I would love for the Niners to get back to the Super Bowl, and then in one of his press conferences for someone to be like, so Kyle, did you tell everybody the rules? Does everybody know the rules of the game that you're about to play? That's for like life and legacy and honor.
I find it fun. It would, everybody the other part of this is if I'm the coach and I got a defensive tackle going, well, I didn't know the rules for overtime. Damn it, you didn't need to know the rules. Just sit down. Just make sure you don't jump offside. You got nothing to do with this. Well, they didn't inform me that in overtime that we could get You're a defensive tackle. You didn't need to know. We did. You just weren't invited to the meeting.
He's telling Trent Williams, I did inform you not to false start. I did tell you those rules.
We didn't know the rules. We just thought it was overtime and then penetration. For a 49er to come out and say that on their own merit, yes, I'm mad at the coaches. You're an adult man. You're a grown-ass man. I knew the rules had changed. I ain't even in the league. I haven't played. I knew the rules had changed. Seriously. So Kyle Shanahan's going to get blown up. But it's kind of like me going, I didn't know red lights meant to stop. Nobody ever told me. What are you talking about? You didn't know the rules.
Well, somebody definitely told you at some point in time, assuming you're a licensed, person to operate a motor vehicle.
Anybody who's watched an NFL football games goes, don't you remember Mahomes and Allen a couple years ago? Don't you remember that? No.
That's such a great point. You're right. Like, I think Kyle deserves a lot of blame, but I mean, like Kyle Juszczyk and Nick Bosa was one of the people who said, it's like, hey, Nick, you're getting paid $30 million a year to play in the NFL. Maybe you know the rules.
I didn't know that they changed it. Well, you're a defensive end. You don't need to know, bro. I don't know what you think you need to do about it. So you did. Yeah, we knew. We just didn't invite you to the meeting. We didn't know. Now, Kyle, I got some questions. But if your left defensive tackle doesn't know, you're all right. I'm not blaming you too much.
Wow. You have a point, but I don't think you're letting Kyle off the hook. But dude, that's inexcusable for your players to not know the rules.
Okay. I mean, the only two guys that need to know are the head coach and the quarterback. Dude, and the guy calling the flip. That's it. That's the only guys that really need to know. At that point, we're just gonna go play football.
I mean,
we didn't know.
We just,
I mean, there's 3? We can do that again? Since when is it not sudden death?
We were just told the third possession matters the most. That's all we were told in our meeting all week long.
All I know is we wanted to be 3. That needs to be the shirt.
Did you see Post Malone representing the Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah, I did. It's so painful to watch anybody at Cowboys stuff because as soon as they flash it, all of Twitter sphere goes, "Ah, Cowboys suck."
If you're paying for a Super Bowl ticket, you can wear whatever you want, and if you're Post Malone, you can wear whatever you want. It's a little weird. You know what I mean? Like they're not in the game.
You're picking fights. You're just there to cause unrest. That's what we're here for, to cause unrest. Don't forget, the Blitz is just a couple of hours away. Greeny's actually here at work and roams around the corner. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you on the radio tomorrow. Y'all be safe.